While we're waiting on Kimmie Cakes, make sure I get the mic set right. Settings, audio. Damn, I don't have my headphones in. What? No Bluetooth, no iPhone mic. What? Anyway, we're waiting on Kimmie Cakes here. I'm already set up. I'm just waiting on her. She's probably got to get beautied up, baby dolled up. We're right here on Franklin Avenue. I'll turn the camera around, let you guys see where we are here. Live on Franklin Avenue. And I'm just waiting on Kimmie Cakes for a few minutes. I can't wait to get started. It's been a couple days since I was streaming. So many topics to talk about since I've been in New York. And I'm ready to get started. I'm just waiting on Kimmie here. I don't know where Kimmie is. But as soon as I finish this joint, we're going to go inside and get started. And Kimmie will be here. She doesn't live very far. Nina, by the way, you should pop through. We don't drink. We're a Drink Lounge, 768 Franklin Avenue, right in the heart of Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York. I'm drinking a Kona, by the way, Big Wave. You ever had that Hawaiian beer, by the way? What's up, man? What's going on? One day at a time. One day at a time. That was one of the owners of Drink, by the way. Yeah, Drink Lounge. Typically, by the way, they are always. No, I've been here waiting on Kimmie K. She said she'd be a few minutes late, but I'm set up and I'm ready to go. Actually, I've been ready, but I was about 5 minutes early, set up and everything. 1:25. I'm actually itching, raring to go here. And we're about to go in and get started. I think Kimmie Case is going to come from I think that would be south. Yeah, south should be coming from the south, so I'm looking that direction, hoping that she is making her way. Otherwise, we are about to go ahead and get started. Kimmie Case had good things to say about HP and Mipro Logic. And wow. Get on that bike. Let's go ahead and get this thing started here. We're getting in the Drink Lounge. We got the place all to ourselves here right now. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started, shall we? My headphones. My headphones. Get this party started right now. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Mute that. Got the headphones in. Check. We do. We have everything going here. Road. Add myself to the stage. See if I can hear myself. Make sure I can hear myself. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Are you able to hear me now? You should be able to hear me now. Because I hear a fucking feedback. Yes. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Give me 1 second. Let me close this shit out right here. Camera. All right. I got feedback here. Right here. Let me cut this thing your feed up. Oh, let me make sure it's not YouTube. It's probably YouTube. All right. Still a little feedback here. Now there should be no feedback. All right. Someone says exit my phone. I definitely had it muted. Oh, shit. You're right. It's crazy. All right. It's crazy because it was muted, but there was still some feedback. I didn't think someone says, hey, let me grab another beer. This shit is had me frustrated like hell here. Boomer take issues. You're probably right about that. Someone says, we're on CP time here. Shit, I'm not. Him is he's on CP time. You know, I bought a new Rode podcaster, like a travel Rode podcaster. That's right. Thank you, Grace and Ben. Like a travel Rode podcaster, a duo as they call it. So I have a, I told you I'm building out a studio. So the bigger Rode podcaster will be for this studio, and this little smaller one is for the travel one. So I'm just working my way through it. I've been in New York now a couple of days, and I want to shout out to Master Kim for the tickets. I won't tell you guys what or where, but shout out to Master Kim if he wants to mention it. Fair enough. You guys can hear him. Can we see the soundboard? Sure. Let me show it to you. This is the soundboard here. You see, I have a whole elaborate setup of taking over middle space in the club here, in the lounge, whatever you want to call it. So this is the Rode podcast right here. Of course, it's my weed setup right here. And we're going to get the show started. You see the soundboard? Do I need to show it to you again? Adam put enough picture of the soundboard. Thorpe TV. It says Grace. It's Grace, yeah. Anyway, I'm not at home, so I'm drinking Kona. No Miller Lite today. Kona, which is I guess it's a Hawaiian beer or something, right? Kona, big wave. Yeah, so I've been in New York a couple of days. I want to go by and see some of the migrant. There's apparently they emptied out a migrant shelter here in New York, and it's in Bed-Stuy, of all places. And I used to live in Bed-Stuy when I first moved to New York. I live right there at Putnam and Franklin, in between Franklin, which is right down the street, between Franklin and Bedford on Putnam. If you're familiar with New York, you know what it is. There's the big picture of the what's the guy? Old Dirty Bastard, right there on the corner, like a iconic New York picture, I guess you could say. So a couple things I really wanted to have this show with Kim. I don't know what's taking her so long. But some of the topics I wanted to cover, wanted to cover those while doing other streams. But while we're waiting for her, I'll go through some of the comments in the audience here. Hey, did you see the the soundboard, Grace, Ben, whoever saw it? Let me go through the comments here. That's right, Boomer Tech Issues. You know, the other one was, was working just fine, but again, when I plugged in the new one, this is the first time I plugged it in, and boom, had to get it straightened out. Echo because the distance. I think Woody, I think it was the distance because definitely they were muted. Uh, Exit StreamYard on your phone. Hey, you know the HB and MidPro Logic and Return to 77777. They did a show the other night, and YouTube apparently blocked the show. And I guess globally, I guess that dildo video maybe it was shown, or some other sex toy video was shown. So they commented about that. So if you guys want to see that, it's a little too late. Maybe we cut that out and show it again. And so you'll be able to see that video if you guys want to see it by request. Let me go back through some of these comments here. Oh, you have the same soundboard, Grace. Okay. Yeah. I got the whole setup. Yeah, because again, this is my travel kit. John, you are muted on your phone. This N-word. Let's see. Who's the girl? Kimmie Case is a friend of mine. We really bonded during COVID. Not like an ex or anything, just a really good friend of mine. And during COVID, we used to come here. This is one of the few places where we could come and have a drink. And the bartender, at some point, he may stop in. And he was, he was a COVID believer. You've seen pictures of both of us. And so anyway, I used to push him to like open up the bar during the daytime because COVID had totally restricted his hours. And now, ironically enough, a few years later, he's doing a lot of construction now to open up in the daytime. So kudos to me in a way, kind of backhand slap on the back, I guess, pat on the back. Kind of taking my suggestion here. Thorpe did one a week or two back. Oh, yeah, that was from here. HB, jump on, man, whenever you get a chance. I think the Wi-Fi is pretty good. You correct me if I'm wrong. I am on the restaurant's Wi-Fi, although I could get the bus Wi-Fi. It's right out front. I'm going to laugh my ass off soon. When does John Galt? I don't necessarily consider this an IRL, right? I'm not like man on the street or anything. We're just having a live stream inside of the bar. It's one of the things I really want to do more, like have someone where I can do like that Ken Watson video. I think would have been a lot better had it been face to face, Ken Watson and I, as opposed to online where he's getting disconnected, things like that. John, where are you at? It seems hey man, Crown Heights has changed quite a bit. You're right. They still have their problems here. We can pull up some of the things that goes on in Crown Hoods and Crown Heights, but yeah, definitely Crown Heights, Franklin Avenue, 768 Franklin Avenue. I don't think this is far from the Crown Heights riots or something like that. Speaking of that, let me get to what I want to talk about here while I'm waiting on Kimmie Cakes. I'm going to go through some of the things I wanted to talk about. And one of them was clearly the migration issue. That's just been a topic of mine that clearly it gets me going here. So let me see if I can pull up some of the tabs here. And I'll see if I can show you some of the things that I want to discuss with you today while we're waiting on Kimmie. Let's see, show all bookmarks, what I want to see here. Here's the first one that I bring up. How do I want to do it? I guess I'll encounter it this way. I'll explain it this way here. Let's see. I'm going to put that here and I'm going to share my page in 1 second. So, as you know, in New York, there are quite a bit of migrants, things like that. You see them everywhere. I was walking down the street somewhere and I just saw them like sitting in front of a restaurant deep in Crown Heights. And Let me share this article with you. What's up, man? What's going on? Huh? Hey, man, you come on and get on the podcast whenever you want. You working tonight? I know. Oh, you just popping through? My man. Come on and get on the podcast if you want. All right, here's the article. This is from Brooklyn Today. I'll see if I can bring this up for you. Let me maximize it. Newly arrived migrant encounter hazards of food deliveries on the streets of New York City. Robbers. This is from July 18th, 2024. And you see this all over the street. As I'm sitting here talking to you, I can just hear scooters going up and down Franklin Avenue delivering food all day, bikes and things like that. So Brad Song thought he was about to get his e-bike stolen a second time in less than a month after delivering an order for Chinese food app Fantoin Delivery. How many of you guys have ever even heard of Fantoin Delivery? We're going to look this up at some point. But Fantoin Delivery, make sure you can see that. So I'm going to maximize it one more time here. And so here's a company, a food app, must be a Chinese food app, delivering food, Fantoin Delivery, and 7 strangers surrounded the Chinese immigrant and knocked him off the scooter. He was rescued when a nearby motorist revved his engine, scaring the assailants. His brakes were damaged and a phone used for navigation had its screen shattered. Asylum seekers have gravitated to work in food delivery in New York and other major cities, drawn by an abundance of customers and ease of getting started. So it goes on to talk about, this is interesting. Juan Solano, who migrated from the Mexican state of Guerrero in 2017, founded this organization, which is a group of delivery workers who help retrieve stolen e-bikes, often with the help of monitoring devices. Launched during the pandemic, the group has more than 50,000 followers on Facebook and a WhatsApp channel. Wow, amazing. Anyway, so this guy started off food delivery during the pandemic. And here's what's interesting here. The New York City Police Department reported roughly 11,000 thefts of bikes valued at $1,000 or more. Now, these are e-bikes. If you remember, I showed you guys some e-certificates that the city of Washington, D.C. gives out to residents so they can go and buy these e-bikes. Now these bikes are being stolen. Anyway, so now you see that they're killing over these bikes. In 2021, Francisco Villalba was fatally shot in the chest after refusing to give up his bike, while taking a break at a playground. He had just finished a DoorDash delivery. Tiburio Castillo was fatally attacked on the Willis Bridge. The Willis Bridge, I think, takes you to the Bronx. I'm pretty sure it does, from Manhattan, while riding his bike back home from a food delivery ship in 2022. After an extensive search, his family found him at Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx. Yep, so it does lead to the Bronx, in a coma. This is interesting. Like, these people are now attacking these migrants because they're riding around on $1,000 bikes. And the migrants are more or less, these bikes are like cars for them. It's their livelihood. And here they are getting robbed for the bikes. Let's see if we have comments here. Let's see, one says, but it's a common thing that you see all over New York City. You see these guys zipping up and down the street on bikes. And in some cases, they'll run people over. There was a lady hurt recently from being run over by a bike. And these motorbikes, you see me, I ride one. Things will get up to 45 miles an hour. And if someone hits you in one, you're going to be seriously injured. Let's see. Oh, we got Ice Cube in the audience. No, he's trolling. I know he's trolling. What's up, 12th man? Anyone want to jump up on the panel while we're waiting on Kimmie Cakes? Mayor Adams will be sending the migrants to Alaska to keep you in the dog company. I don't think the migrants are going to leave New York. This is like low-hanging fruit here, low-hanging fruit. Richard says, what's up, Ice Cube? Has he started trolling yet? I know he's going to be in the audience trolling. If there are liberals in public, I showed you guys, I played the audio of a liberal the other day that that live right up the street from the migrant shelter right here in Clinton Hills. And the last thing these people are is violent. They're probably a little bit too passive in that they're allowing this to go on under their watch without even as much of there isn't even much resistance or complaints. So from that standpoint, like the liberals here almost become toothless. That's just the state of New York these days. I said it the last time I was here. It's like a third world country. I mean, everything's still running down on the street level. The sewers still work. Flush your toilet, the sewage goes somewhere. But everything else, you have to really wonder, like, could the new people coming here to replace the old Americans, can they really maintain this level of infrastructure? It's going to be interesting to see here. Let me pull up another article, another interesting article. Again, I saw this while I was here in New York. So I want to see if I can share this with you. Let me see what this is. It's in my email here. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling it up now. Damn, I even got an article from Stanley. Oh, yeah, this is an interesting article here. I'm pulling it up. Let me share this tab. Check this, guys. I'll make sure you can read it. So I was reading just about the migrants again. As soon as you get to New York, man, you can't help but just see them. They're everywhere. So here's an article, $4 million in funds available for nonprofits to help migrants. Right? And it gets more interesting than this. The article is really, you see these guys right here, the New York Community Trust and Robin Hood Foundation. Remember that name. Have created the fund for the newest New Yorkers, a coordinated effort to support the unprecedented arrival of over 200,000 migrants and asylum seekers to New York City since spring 2022. The advisory board includes representatives from the offices of the mayor, so on and so forth. The funds aim to support new arrivals by facilitating their economic inclusion and mobility while enhancing the city's social service infrastructure. Nice. At least $4 million will be administered to nonprofits through an open RFP. That's a request for proposal, with applications closing on September 16, 2024. What this means is an increased capacity for nonprofits to provide blah, 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 essential legal support, so on and so forth. Anyway, so it got me to wondering, well, who in the hell is the Robin Hood Foundation, right? Who is Robin Hood? Who is the Robin Hood Foundation? And when I show this to you, it's going to surprise you, depending on your point of view, right? Let's see if I can pull up who the Robin Hood Foundation is here. There they are. Let's see. And here's the Robin Hood Foundation. And this is going to blow your mind when you see this. This is the Robin Hood Foundation. It elevates New Yorkers out of poverty by funding, supporting, and connecting high-impact community organizations, partnering with government, and advocating, blah, blah, whatever. So let's see, who are the Robin Hood people? So let's see about us, about Robin Hood. Who is Robin Hood? Let's see if we can find, and let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Show you this picture of Robin Hood. We have someone joining the channel. It's producer one. All right. So 35 years of impact. And here's a picture. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. What you see is a bunch of, let's just say, liberals and a bunch of poor people of color. And inspired by a shared love for New York City, Robin Hood was created over a dinner of Chinese takeout by board members Paul Tudor Jones. Someone look up Paul Tudor Jones. Peter Borish. Someone look up Peter Borish. David Saltzman. Glenn Dubin, along with Maurice Chesed. You can see the group here. You see the names. Do we need to say any more? We're going to do a JQ question another time, so this is not the time. So you see the people here. They've been fighting against AIDS, 9/11. I'm sure they fought against COVID, welfare benefits. What else did they fight for? Teachers. Basically, the whole Democrat menu, a la carte style. And let's see what else they, of course, their politicals. And what else do they have? Of course, they're fighting poverty. Early tech-based learning, sure. And this is probably early childhood kid. Yeah, there you go. Look at the arm on that woman right there with the mask. Amazing. But anyway, so someone had asked about who is funding the migrants and who is getting paid off of this. I think this clearly shows you. And there's a lot of money in this migrant thing. And well, this is at the top, you see who's getting it. And down at the bottom, you see this probably child care worker that's probably making $20, $25 an hour. So she's getting a little bit of the money too. But that more or less explains why New York is so like overrun with migrants here. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money out here. You know, I can't believe it's 2 o'clock here. And Kimmie Cakes is still late. Can you believe that? Truly amazing. Right, let me text Kimmie Cakes. Put my phone number up in the link and stuff and see what they do. Hold on for a second. We got a phone call. Maybe it's a call. Yeah, prank caller. Hold on for a second. Hello? Hello? Hey, hold on for a second. Pacheco, give me 1 minute. We got Juan calling in here. Let's see if we can get Juan going in here. Hold on for 1 second, Juan. Let me see if I got my Bluetooth on, Juan. And I'll cut you on. Hey, Juan. Let's see here. Shit. Juan, give me 1 minute. You have to call back. Call back 2 minutes, Juan. Let me cut the Bluetooth on this damn. You know, so much to handle one person, I tell you. I want to get this phone thing going right. Very important. Very important. Real podcast duo. Yeah. Let's see. This is the Bluetooth right here. Yeah. Bluetooth. Where's Bluetooth? Grace, I wish you were here to help me with all this shit. I'm trying to get to my Bluetooth here, and I think this is it. The Bluetooth. No device connected. Let me plug in my Bluetooth. Someone want air. Here we go. All right. That's it. All right, Juan, if you want to call back, the Bluetooth is now connected. Should be connected. Yeah, we're connected here. Yeah. Anyone want to call in? Matter of fact, let me update the YouTube. What's up, San Jose mate? Kamala compared ICE to the KKK. Well, I guess it shows you what her opinion is going to be on the border and things like that. Let's call Kimmie Cakes, see what's taking her so damn long. Let's see if we can call her. I have like a damn burner phone that I take these calls from here. Is that Kimmie Cakes? Let's see what's we can call Kimmie Cakes here. See what's going on. Where's Dr. Carnett with the text up? Oh man, I don't know what Get Crack is today. He might be on Thorpe's, or Thorpe's are here, so maybe they'll restream it here. I don't know. Stanley Cross. Oh yeah, nice to get some fresh air and also get a 4 or 5 mile walk every time I fish the canals. Stanley, I thought your son was moving into college today. Did you get it done early and now you're here? 12 man off all these nonprofit NGOs, so-called, bring all these people in here. Seems like it's hurting the black community more than anyone with these insane immigration policies. You know what's interesting about that third man, 12th man? I have a buddy of mine, Philippe. He's called in here before. So he's in DC right now and he's trying to find contractors. So he's in kind of have a, in a dilemma here. Oh, we got a caller here. Let's see what's going on. Oh yeah. I don't know why I hung up. Yeah. Maybe I need to put the other phone. But anyway, so my buddy Philippe, he's in DC right now and he's looking for contract. And he doesn't have the inside, connection to the Hispanic population that I do. So he feels comfortable hiring white people because they have good salesmen that come out. They can speak the Queen's English when they're talking to him. But they oftentimes have to send out like subpar laborers to do the actual work. So he's looking at it and he's saying, well, I want to pay more because I can easily communicate with the salesman. But the salesman is doing the work. It's the laborers that are most important. And he can't talk directly to the people who do the work. And, a guy like me, I'll figure out a way to talk to the Spanish guys. He doesn't know them, can't talk to them. And so he'd rather go with the white man. He is pay, the white man's price. But the dilemma is you oftentimes don't get better work because the white man is affected by the migrant flow as well. And how he's affected is that he can't go hire the Mexicans the way, or the migrants the way that other migrants can hire each other. And so he ends up having to hire either whites or blacks, but he has to pay them an exorbitant rate. So he ends up pushing a lot of his resources into salesmanship. So you're looking for windows to be done in your house. The salesman is going to be A1 professional, but the people that he sends out to do the actual windows may not be the best. And that is kind of the dilemma that how it affects the white man, in my opinion, in blue collar trades type work. That's just my opinion. But anyone want to differ, feel free to hop on the panel. Anything you want to talk about today, I just put the link up. What do I want to talk about today? Yo, Mr. Cross, congrats on you. That's true. Stanley's son is off to Georgia Tech. Indeed. Stanley said he's there. Set him up early. Okay, there you go. It's probably hot in Atlanta. You get it done early. Get drunk. Get cracked. Got drunk last night. Anyway, so back to what I was talking about here. Anyway, when I get to New York, it's like the first thing I see is the just the number of migrants. They're like all over the place, just all over the Is that Kimmie Case walking in? People have been waiting on you forever and ever. Like, no, you come on in. The camera's facing this way. It's facing me right now, so they can't see you there. Yeah, ain't no problem. Want me to put the chair for you, Kimmie Cakes? Hold on for 1 minute. Who is this? One logging. What's up?
One left us the place.
Now they got Javi. I think Javi's working in here somewhere. Yeah, Javi's working in here. You need a chair, Kim. Let me put you up a chair. It look like Drew said he coming through.
Oh, that's chair in front of the electrician guy?
Yeah, Drew. Okay. The one we was at Yeah, the one we was at Kiss and Kiss. You want a beer, Kim? You want some wine or anything? I think the water in here is hot. What's up, Juan, by the way? What's up, Juan?
How are you guys doing?
Yeah. Oh, man, one day at a time, Juan. What's up?
Not much. So I was able to So congratulations to Stanley on his son going to Georgia Tech. My daughter starts Texas A&M in a week. So I know how that's going to be fun. But congratulations. And also on the 4.2 GPA, congratulations.
Hey, the A&M schools are coming back. The A&M technical schools are making their way back, huh? Is that what it is?
I would imagine. I don't know what Stanley's opinion is, but I would have to imagine that, the Texas Ag and military colleges, they're making a comeback. And of course, again, his son going to Georgia Tech. So you might be on something.
You know, I saw an article just today about colleges dropping majors. And I think that, you know, that's the, yeah, here it goes right here. Let me share this tab with you.
I hope they're dropping the bullshit majors and no one makes money.
They need to drop them. Look at this. U.S. colleges are cutting majors and slashing programs after years of putting it off. You know what this is a response is to me? For years, they didn't have to slash the majors because they were making so much money off of them.
That's exactly what it was. And the end result was you had students that came in or technology that improved that invalidated their college degrees. Before I went to law school, I was a communications and a public administration major. And with the AI DJs that came out, my communications degree went to about 10% in value. And then with the social construct theory and well, I won't go into the other thoughts regarding boys and girls, but that basically made my degree worth zero. And so I think they needed to put their investment in degrees that actually could produce a strong output. Your engineering degrees, your math degrees, pre-law and pre-med, things like that.
Well, I think the thing is that college degrees are going to be profitable no matter what until the people stop coming to college and enrolling in basket weaving majors. As long as people enrolling, it's profitable, right? But once college begins to, once people see it for the fraud that it is, and people stop enrolling in the basket weaving majors. And that's when the colleges finally make a move and say, you know what, we got to lay off the basket weaving professor. But as long as the jig was up, as long as the jig was going, they were willing to keep hiring the basket weaving professor.
John,
the money slowed down. Go ahead.
John, as long as the colleges get unlimited checks from the government, then it'll never be affordable because that's basically what they get is unlimited checks on all these loans and everything. Why in the hell you think the cost to go in college is so high? It's because the government will write a check paying no matter what they ask, evidently.
No,
But they're not putting
agree.
out that they're not putting out much though, are they, John?
Not these days, 12 man. Not these days, 12 man. Not these days at all. Hey, Kim, you want me to put the camera on you, or how you want to set up? You want to?
It's up to you. I can use my phone or.
Yo, speaking to my Kim, let's see if people can hear you.
Testing.
Oh, hold on, Stanley. Can you hear Kim?
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Yeah. All right, that's pretty clear.
Yeah, loud and clear.
I think we can use just your mic.
Cheers, Master Kim.
One mic right here. Yeah, what's up, Stanley? What are you about to say?
Wait, so
well, no, I was just gonna congratulate Juan on is it your daughter or getting into Texas A&M? But I got like maybe 2 to 3 points to make. First off, I'm like it's in my family, and both my parents grew up deep into Jim Crow, and one of the things that they emphasized. And in the deep South, 2 ways back in my father's day, for instance, was either college or the military. So those were, 2 fairly decent options, if not certain. They were, pretty certain ways of kind of building a career. Post 1965, it's more wide open. I will agree that I don't think Black Americans really think about the options. But the next point is, I pretty much told my son that, you know what, I'm poor. You need to do well enough to get scholarships. I mean, I owed 0 when I got out of college because I had a bunch of scholarships. And he did better in high school than I did. So, his thing, he's doing computers at Georgia Tech. That's a thing that seems to run in our family. My brother literally does computer research. I didn't major in computers, but wound up basically working with computers forever. The other thing is that I personally think if you're good at what you do, it does not matter what you major in. You will make money. Now, you may not make $1 billion, but you will make a living. So that basket weaving thing is debatable. If you're going to major in English or something like that, you best be, thinking about being a lawyer.
Well,
If you're
Stanley,
thinking,
why in the
well,
fuck
let me
should you
finish,
get a?
please. Let me finish, please. Basically, kids, when they pick a major, need to know what could possibly happen as an outcome. Now, I've known psychology majors who teach Cisco classes. So, just you can't depend on a liberal arts degree to make money. However, if my son wanted to major in English, I would encourage him to do it, but you're going to have to scholarship your way through it and know that you're not going to make a ton of money unless you go to law school or you're like a major writer. I've known people who were like English degree majors, but they had written their first novel before they got out of college and had $1 million contract. So,
Absolutely.
people, if you're going the basket weaving degree, know what the outcomes could be, accept the outcomes if they're not your way.
But the problem, Stanley, is they're not accepting the outcomes. They have the same attitude that I had because it was
I
brought
agree
on.
with you there.
The attitude that we were given when I graduated high school in 1999, and the attitude they gave us was, you go to college, you can get a job anywhere. It doesn't matter the degree. In fact, when I opened up my first checking account at Marine Federal, the branch manager even told me, all that I have is a basket weaving degree, and look, I'm running a bank. And I would say post 2005, that wasn't necessarily the case. The problem was they still kept bringing that message to the kids until I would say about 2017, 2018. And 2017 and 2018,
I bet he did more than basket weaving. Sometimes companies, if they like you, will give you the training they want to be. I mean, you can graduate with a computer science degree and go work for Google. They're still going to give you training. What you learn in college, even as an engineer, even as a mechanical engineer, companies are going to train you to do stuff their way.
Stanley, but the government has already given out
billions of dollars. But the government, that's a side issue. It really
it's not a side issue because
it is a side issue.
The government is funding these basket weaving and
liberal
arts, and that's why they have billions of dollars in debt.
Hold on, 12 man.
Disagree with that.
All right, fair enough, Stanley. Hold on, 12 man. Here's some things I saw in the headlines today that I wanted to cover with you guys. And it's related to CBDC. How many of you on the panel are familiar with CBDC?
I am, and I am scared of it. I'll be quite honest.
Oh, man, I can agree with you on that, Ron. I can really agree with you as a man of the streets.
Did that say Russia's CBDC?
Well, we're gonna walk our way up to America, and at some point, I want to even make the bridge between the sanctions and the CBD. But for right now, we're going to focus on CBDC. We'll get to Bitcoin, and I think you're going to hear something very interesting in this article. And again, we're going to walk our way up to the west here, but we're going to start with Iran and Russia, CBDC. So take a look at this article here. Putin wants to speed up deployment of Russia's CBDC. Everyone's familiar with this, right?
What is that?
Is this a Bitcoin thing?
It's sort of. It's the required, in quotation marks, alternative to Bitcoin.
Oh, okay. I'm not that interested in Bitcoin, so this is definitely something I'll mute through.
That's just a BRICS bank version of Bitcoin, basically, John Galt, because Russia's been trying to create their own Bitcoin for a long time now.
Yeah, well, they're not the only one, right? And so, but we're going to start with Russia for the time being, and then we'll work our way up to the Bitcoin. Let me work through a little kinks here. Here we go. So Putin wants to speed up deployment of Russia's CBDC. During a meeting on economic issues earlier this week, Putin seemed keen for Russia's central bank digital currency pilots to accelerate. Now we need to take the next step, namely to move to a broader, full-scale implementation of the digital ruble in the economy, in economic activity, and in the field of finance. Digital ruble trials started in August last year. When did the war start, by the way? Hey, yeah, last year, before last.
For about 2 years now.
Okay. After months of delays waiting for supporting legislation. The first wave of tests involved a dozen banks, with the second wave due to start in September. Up to 19 additional banks, including Russia's largest, suburb bank. Anyway, on and on it goes. It is important for Russia to seize the moment, as they say, to create the legal framework and regulation in a timely manner to develop infrastructure, to create conditions for the circulation of digital assets both within the country and in relations with foreign partners. That's Putin speaking. He goes on to say Russia already has a digital financial asset framework for tokenized assets, including commodities such as gold. The usage of digital financial assets such as tokenized gold for payments is banned. However, the country recently passed legislation supporting their use for cross-border payment. Here's the money shot. Plus, Iran said it is working with Russia on CBDC and tokenized asset payments. Very interesting. Let's see, there was something else I wanted to show you. The central bank governor recently said it was acceptable to use cryptocurrencies, use the Bitcoin aspect of it, for international payments if it helps address sanctions. Until then, she vehemently opposed any crypto use. So basically, she left a backdoor open, a wide backdoor open for cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Putin's comments coincided with Russian media reports of sanctions disrupting payments between China and Russia. Reuters stating in April that the Shanghai branch of BTB served as a significant channel for money transfers between Russia and China. However, foreign branches in China and India were added to the OFAC sanctions list on 12 June. Additionally, sanctions against the Moscow exchange forced trading of dollars and euros onto the over-the-counter market. So basically, it seems to me that the sanctions that we put on Russia are forcing them to adopt this digital ruble, where it's more easily acceptable international payments. We're going to let's see what Putin is saying. Let's see. This may be the end of this article. I have other articles about this. But I think for the people that are skeptical of the central bank currency, they don't want to see it happen. I think that pretty much a foregone conclusion. And so it'll be kind of up to, how we want to work this out. But I don't think we're going to be able to vote or fight our way out. It's just my any thoughts on the CBDC?
Yes.
Yeah.
If Russia and Iran are in on it, I guess my first thought is, what do repressive regimes tend never to tend not to foster creativity? Most of their most creative people find a way to escape. So I think this is going to go nowhere. Kind of like BRICS did, or did not.
Well, look at here, though. Google Pay and Walmart backed OMP to join India's CBDC pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're walking our way to the West here, starting in Russia. And maybe we don't have time today because we're going to drink a few drinks and we're going to talk about some New York shit since Kimmie's here, right? But
Well,
I think
my
I'll go
overall
ahead.
philosophical point is Russia has never offered anything productive to the West.
Well,
Not since
I'm not.
1917, at least.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you or agree with you on that case because I can't speak on it the way that you can. But you know what? I hate to change subjects mid-topic, so we're going to finish this one, and I'm going to meld in the 4x100 Olympic race. I was going to do a stream on this. But I want to talk about this shit. What do you think, Kim?
Yeah, the Olympics is all fucked up. Shit. The gymnastics,
the boxing.
it's all fucked up.
Has anyone been watching the Olympics?
I'm only watching the replays. I after the opening ceremonies, absolutely not. Worse, considering the fact that I believe yesterday the first man who won the gold medal in women's boxing, and the first man who won the silver medal in women's boxing. Make sense?
Disgusting on every level. The part of the Olympics I watched was USA women's beach volleyball and Simone Biles, because she is the true legend right now. I mean, all those medals Simone got, I mean, God love that woman, man. That's what represents America, is Simone Biles.
John, you're muted.
What do you
I
think?
was saying, have you seen the picture of Shaquille O'Neal and Simone Biles?
She's so tiny.
No.
Yeah, she looks like a little kid compared to him.
She comes up to what, by his kneecap?
Yeah,
Maybe
she's
by
tiny.
his kneecap, right? Like he can't even kiss that woman. Like there's no way he could kiss her, right?
Well, the average man
We
would
tried to
look
kiss
small next to Shaquille O'Neal, John.
No, I'm saying that he couldn't kiss her, like physically. It would
She
be very
would
difficult.
need.
You have a vivid fantasy life.
Well, because you paired up. But like she's
She
so
would need a
small.
step ladder.
He'd
Well,
have to
actually,
pick
no.
her
She
up
would
like
need a whole half painter ladder.
He'd have to pick her up like a baby, bro, to kiss her.
He could pick her up to kiss her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He'd have to pick her up. Like he couldn't bend down. He'd have to kneel down. Like
What I really,
She
but
might
what I
make him
really,
kneel. She might make him kneel.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that, Sam. Hey,
what I really like about Simone is she went from crying last time to winning a bunch of more medals this time.
How was she crying last time?
Well, you could see it. Anybody could Google it.
Okay.
She had
So
a breakdown.
do you think taking herself out of a sport that could cripple her because she wasn't like focused or whatever the problem was? Do you think she did the right thing? I do.
I think she did the right thing to take care of herself first.
Okay. Then crying because, hey, I'm pissed off at myself. That's why she was crying.
But she came back and won, Stanley.
And that is the
bunch
awesome
more
part.
gold
She
medals
did not
and
give
everything.
up in the end. I agree with you there.
Yeah, she didn't give up.
Hey,
Where I was happy is the United States. Where I was happy is the United States, for once, made a strong showing in the 4x200-meter relay, and we actually beat Jamaica for the first time in like ever.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys gonna have to take it easy on Jamaica. You know, Kimmie Casey mentioned already.
I'm an American first.
States, sorry.
Hey, did you? So Kimmie Casey, what are your thoughts about the 4x100 men's America losing the race? Have you heard?
Was that the guy who was tied with a guy from? I think he might have been Ukrainian.
No, this is. I think this is. Anyone familiar with this race? Boy, I get it all wrong.
Wait, was it the relay?
The 4x100. Anyone familiar?
Yeah, that was the relay.
Okay.
Did a man win that one too?
Yeah,
John,
men did
a man win that one?
Men did win it. Is anyone familiar with the 4x100?
Well, I mean,
I am,
how
yes.
it works, yeah, I am. But you know,
No,
I
I
don't
mean
run.
the current 4x100. You know what for me? What
No.
happened in the Olympics? Okay.
Wasn't there like a 16-year-old or something?
I don't know the ins and outs of anything, but what I do know is that the Americans lost, right? And they had trouble again in this Olympics with the handoff of the baton. Is that what it's called? A baton?
Yeah, the baton.
Right. And so they had
Yes.
trouble handing off the baton. And you guys should go look at the videos, so I don't ruin it for you, but the Chinese man took off. Individually, each American was faster than probably every other Chinese on that squad. But yet the Americans lost because they couldn't hand off the baton. Imagine that.
A basic task.
It's cooperation, right? Individually, they were faster than everyone else. But collectively, they could not come together to make it all work out. And they end up losing to men who were individually slower than them. And I think, and this has happened again, and you'll see someone like Carl Lewis out here saying that they need to blow up the Olympics team. But in reality, yeah, well, he said they need to blow up the Olympics track team.
Carl Lewis said that?
Yeah, Carl Lewis said that.
He was saying it figuratively, by the way, not literally blow up the team.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what they all say.
And so, you know, it made me think of something in that the 4x100 really kind of represents life.
How so?
In that, you ever heard of death by a million cuts?
Yes.
Right? And the 4x100 is death by 4 cuts in this case. Each one of those men that handed off the baton just a little bit slower than the Chinese man gave that Chinese man the advantage because they didn't practice the small thing. Every one of them came to the table faster than the other 4 Chinese men. But it was the handing off of the baton, the working together, that they didn't do.
How do you know
I
they
gotta
didn't
tell you,
practice
John.
Well,
Because
I think
because go ahead.
the most disgusting thing about the Olympics was letting men beat on women, man. I can't even watch it. Makes me want to throw up.
Well,
How many times have you watched it?
Stanley, did you see the man boxing the woman in the Olympics?
You know what? I haven't even read the story. I'm just going on, this universe of a man beating up on a woman. I really haven't had time to research it. I've been, doing stuff. So
he lives
as far as
he
the
lives
4x100, as far as the relay race, how do you know they didn't practice it? Maybe they just didn't execute what they practiced.
Yeah,
you must
John,
live under a rug, Stanley.
Can we watch a replay of it?
You live in Alaska. Don't tell me about living under a rug.
Hey, hold on. Is that Righteous Muffin right there?
No, that's me. This is Z. I was asking if we could if we go watch a replay.
You sound like Righteous Muffin. My bad. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, sure. Let me see if I can pull it up. What about 100 Olympics?
I think that our country promotes a lot of individualistic ways of thinking.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And the collective thoughts and behaviors are taught only to cater to certain groups. Like we come together to support the queer community or the migrants, but there's no sense of like coming together to achieve a team result.
Let me see if
I would disagree. If that were the case, by that logic, the USA men's basketball team wouldn't have won the gold medal against France yesterday. That had to be a team effort.
Because you can't play basketball by yourself.
No, I think for basketball, they're probably just so dominant that they cannot, they can be individuals and still win. But I think it's something like running, where the difference is probably under a second between the best person and the least best person.
John,
And,
when you were a kid, did you ever run track or do any sport?
Yeah, but not track. I was never the best.
I was a cheerleader.
Let me see if
I played football. I played football.
Don't make me say I bet you were.
I was defensive tackle, Stanley. Defensive tackle.
Well, no, I was asking John what sport he played. I mean, if you're not fast enough on track, you can do the pole vault, or I wasn't a very good sprinter, but I did cross country and I did the high jump. So there are things you could do. My point is that I'm not absolutely sure you're familiar with the concept of, every time you practice doesn't mean it gets executed well under pressure.
You very well could be correct.
Well, I have an argument at least.
But Carl Lewis made the same argument now for the last 4 years.
Yeah, he could be right. He knows track.
And he was very successful at it, right? And he came and he did well at it, and he was successful. And he talks about how
he's the track version of prime time.
Yeah. We may talk
Michael Johnson would like to have a word with you when it came to that. Michael Johnson, the guy that broke the 100-meter record before the Jamaicans basically came in and whipped us afterwards. But even he had problems on the 4x100 relays in the 90s. And there were a lot of times where the U.S. ended up getting out. Basically, they were losing because the handoff was messed up.
Let me see.
That's what happened here.
Yeah.
But wait,
was it trouble for years?
Was it a diverse team of people?
No, they was all black. Look at it. Look at this shit.
You look great,
Oh,
Kimmie.
I see where this is going.
She's a queen, ain't she, Kimmie? Look at that.
Let's see if you guys can see this here.
Of course, you guys know how much I love black women.
So basically,
guys don't need to know that.
So basically, this is not only did they lose, but they were disqualified. See that?
Oh my God!
I think whatever the rules are, they couldn't pass rules. But one of the things you'll see. Go ahead.
They didn't succeed the handoff within the exchange zone.
That's
from what I remember.
Whatever rules are, yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, Kimmie, hold me down for 1 second.
Yeah. Do you want me to play the video?
Shit, we gotta be light on the video. YouTube has been killing us on the copyrights.
Really?
Especially the Olympics. If you play more than 5 seconds of the Olympics, they want to ban you.
Yeah, NBC's algorithm hitting everybody hardcore. You're absolutely right.
I guess we should have let Imperius talk that day. Oh gosh.
They're afraid of the truth.
All right, so I guess we'll jump back in to that when John returns.
Real quick, the reason why I was here is
do you mind
because
if I pivot the conversation?
You guys wanted information, I believe, on John or Paul Tudor Jones, and I have that. This is apparently he's old enough to be my father, since my father was born at around the same era. He was born in 1954, went to the University of Virginia, and he is not broke by any means, unlike what that particular, what was that, the Robin Hood Foundation or what have you, tried to make everybody believe in the About Us section. He formed a hedge fund in 1981, became a billionaire by 1996.
Damn.
And has been spending his money in philanthropy by basically funding both sides. He funded he funded Mitt Romney's presidential. He donated to Mitt Romney's presidential campaign, while at the same time funding a dinner in support of Barack Obama back in 2012. So he's really, really good at playing both sides of the ball, basically.
Yeah, Juan, I was wondering about that. How do they get in office, suddenly become millionaires? Seems like overnight.
Well, he's not a millionaire
to becoming a millionaire.
But he's not a millionaire by being in office. This guy is the guy that was one of the founders of Robinhood, that company in New York City that's supposedly designed to keep people out of poverty.
Yeah, the
That's
Robin
where it
Hood
was coming from.
Foundation is like a donors. It's a philanthropist organization. They donate to people in places in need.
Is that the
exactly,
ones bringing all the immigrants in?
Well, they're the ones
Possibly.
that are they're the ones that are funding money to help immigrant causes. Specifically, they're funding the attorneys that represent these immigrants in their asylum cases. But the thing is in the About Us, in the About Us, John brought up the fact that they claim to have started this over a Chinese takeout dinner. In other words, Chinese takeout being associated with two dinners, associated with them being broke. They were anything but broke. At least this guy, he was anything but broke. So that's where I was getting at. Hello?
Sounds like a roundabout way of being invaded. You're still being invaded, right, Juan?
It definitely is, Juan. It definitely is. It definitely is. Just to see it is kind of amazing, Juan. You see all the resources that are being allocated to it is really amazing. You know.
That John Plus, how they can trick you so easily. Oh well, we founded this fund over a Chinese dinner. In other words, we're like you, we're broke. No, you're not.
Hey, Juan, and guys in the panel in the chat, why do you think they were eating a Chinese dinner?
I'm not going to go
I don't know.
Why were they eating what?
John, your mic is not working.
Chinese takeout.
Well, doesn't everybody eat Chinese takeout every once in a while?
John.
I'm not going to go there. I have a joke there, but I'm not going to go there.
Oh, well, you know what? The joke might be more interesting than the question.
See if I'm on mute on the computer. No, I think the interesting thing is, certain groups have a tradition of
Certain
eating
groups
Chinese
are
food.
associated with eating Chinese. Black people and immigrants that don't have money eat
No,
cheap food. And Chinese takeout is associated with cheap food.
And they're getting your Social Security.
Well, I think
They're
black
getting the
people in the
Medicare.
South grew food, so it was awfully cheap, and they're
hold on, Stanley.
probably ate healthier than almost any other group.
Hang on, Stanley. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
Have you ever heard about what Chinese eat on Christmas?
That was my joke, and I'm not going to go there.
Jewish food?
What the Jewish people eat on Christmas.
Oh, I thought it was the Chinese people eating like.
No, the Jewish people on New Year's, on Christmas. On Christmas, they eat
eating a certain
Chinese food.
On
Christmas, I think.
Well, yeah, but the Chinese restaurants are the only ones open, is why they do it.
Yeah,
By the way, Mexican restaurants are open on Thanksgiving Day.
But what I'm saying is,
because they don't celebrate it.
There seems to be something to it
that
they eat Chinese on Christmas. That's not the only thing open in New York. You can find other places open, but the fact that they eat like Chinese food, it's just kind of interesting.
But New York is heaven. It's not the rest of the country.
So you can find whatever you want.
I have a stupid question, John. Is that associating Chinese food with kosher food? Is that what we're getting at?
I mean, technically, you can. They do have a halal. At least in Brooklyn, they have halal Chinese food places, like Chinese takeout. That's halal, which is the same as kosher.
Right, but kosher and halal are completely apart, even though they're pretty much the same. But
right, they're not that.
John had made mention that the saying that Jewish people eat certain things on Christmas. I don't want to go further into that. I don't want history to end. But the thing is I'm wondering if they consider Chinese food kosher, and that's probably why he ate Chinese takeout and decided to form this group.
Now maybe that's what it is. If they are kosher, I guess that could be it.
But I wanted to go back to I think 12th Man. He had a question about like people coming into politics and leaving wealthy, and then I know you mentioned that the person, I guess that you're somehow connected to, or that you had information about, was not a politician. He was more of a donor that worked with the Robin Hood Foundation. And I think that just brings a lot of questions to mind. Like, where did that money come from? Was that his own personal wealth he donated? Or was that money that was donated to the Robin Hood Foundation to do good work for the people of New York?
The Democrat Party, ma'am, has a lot of dark money arms, and George Soros and his crew knows how to blow millions, and that's who funded a lot of these Antifa and violent BLM protests. Is George, because they want people to fight each other here.
Theft and corruption is what makes politicians rich. That's not. I mean, they're public servants. Your salary's not going to be that high enough to get.
No, I think to bring it back down to earth, I understand the dark money and the shadow company, but I think what it is to be quite honest, I think it's his personal money. The thing is when you're having a lot of personal money, you want to do everything that you can to avoid taxes. So what you do is you set up these nonprofits, donate to these nonprofits, and that's tax deductible. Those are charitable deductions that you can claim on your taxes.
So it's basically money laundering, isn't it? Isn't that money laundering?
No, because it's perfectly legal. When you pay tithes to church, for example, that's a charitable deduction that you can use. Actually, this is the same thing. I think is what's happening, but they're doing it to ensure that they're not getting the hits that you would normally get if you're a millionaire or a billionaire.
Like Kamala Harris setting up a fund to bail violent criminals out of jail, many of whom went on to hurt other people.
What were you saying, Kimmie?
Something like that.
What were you saying, Kimmie?
I was just going to say maybe that's why.
Hey, Kimmie, you still there?
One second, we're working on the audio. I'll just use it because I'm on the mic on my cell phone, but your actual mic right here is off.
Please stand by. We're experiencing technical difficulties.
Come on, Fisher.
Oh, can you hear me now? I think I had it on mute.
Yeah, I can hear myself too.
Okay, now with that, I just had it. So, all right. Anyway, let's see what the comments look like.
Oh yeah, let's get to the comments. Do we have any callers?
You just know there are people selling.
I do not like Kamala or Kamala. Is it Kamala? You don't see the comment?
How do you say it exactly?
Kamala.
Camellia?
What did you say?
Yeah, well, Camellia
like
Dahlia would work, but it's Kamala.
I need to make you an admin.
She's more like a chameleon, though, ain't she? Like a coming chameleon.
Oh, were you a Boy George fan? That doesn't surprise me.
Kimmie thinks it's that true. Most places closed in Brooklyn.
In terms of like takeout,
Like food.
No. A lot of places are open.
Are they saying
New Year's maybe
to, order or get out?
No, but I think honestly, what my opinion is, my opinion is like of all the religion, right? Of all the groups of people, the Chinese probably are the most like threatening to the Western man. It is fair.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a smack in the face of the Western man on his Christian holiday.
Really?
What? And patronize I ain't gonna say the most anti-Christian people who are somewhat anti-religion in general. Is it something that I've always thought about? Like, why would they go? Yeah, it's just a thought. I don't know if there's anything to it. I don't know enough about these people to really comment on. But my first thought was, it's just weird. They would go eat Chinese food. No other people go down and eat Chinese.
They don't celebrate Christmas.
Okay.
And all the good restaurants are closed on Christmas Day.
Not all the good restaurants. Like, not all the good restaurants. Not all the restaurants are closed. particularly in New York
Well,
City.
let me put it to you this way: talking race
Test
with a
the
beer
microphone
in your
again.
hand, swaying a little bit, is not a good look.
I'm sitting on a stool here, and again, I'm not talking. I'm just more or less asking a question. I don't know what the background is. I'm not from New York City, but it just struck me as interesting.
Well, it's always a good thing to talk about a city you don't know.
Well, I've lived here enough to happen.
I mean, the way I see it, they just want their money. Rain, sleet, hail, snow.
Well, they don't celebrate Christmas. I mean, are American restaurants open on Chinese New Year?
Well, 100%.
They shut down for the whole month.
Menus.
And we're wide open.
Stanley, this isn't China, bro.
You know what? It's America, and if you can make money on Christmas Day, that is very American.
Yeah,
that is true.
Tell me I am wrong on that point.
You're not wrong.
You're right, Stanley.
Okay, then what on earth are you talking about, Jeremy?
You guys aren't wrong, but I miss the days of the blue laws where when I was growing up on Sunday, everything was closed. On the holidays, everything was closed.
That is so funny. No, in a good way, actually. You bring up something I hadn't thought about.
Here's the topic that I want to talk with you about, Kim. Since we have people up on the panel, what do you think? What do you think about the Great Replacement Theory?
What's that?
Can you turn your mic up a little bit, John?
Sure. What do you think about the Great Replacement Theory?
Can you explain what the Great Replacement Theory is?
It's basically a theory that we are not going to be able to replace ourselves by producing enough kids, so they have to bring in other people in order to replenish the populations that we have.
I don't believe that. No,
that's not the Great Replacement Theory that Tucker Carlson talked about on his show, is it?
Well, from the standpoint of these migrants being brought here, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, right?
Except Democrats want them to vote Democratic, right?
Okay, if that's what you believe in, that's part of the replacement theory.
No, I don't believe it. I think it's crazy.
Okay, fair enough. So he said, here's one that doesn't believe.
But Stanley, it's already affecting the vote. It's already affecting the vote. What are you talking about?
Now, given that many South American immigrants are Catholic, and Catholics tend to be fairly conservative, if you haven't noticed, the Latino vote is creeping towards Republican.
Because they know what it's like to live through socialism.
Okay. Stanley's right, and I'll give an anecdote regarding that. And this deals with the immigrant situation. So I deal with part of the things that we do at the law firm that I work for is process the parole applications, because Venezuelans, Cubans, Haitians, and Nicaraguans qualified for special humanitarian parole, and it was extended to the Ukrainians after the situation happened in 2022.
So when you say parole, you don't mean like criminal parole?
No. Parole in the immigration sense means that we can let you in temporarily into the United States to do something. Criminal parole is, let me go ahead and let you out of jail. You're under supervision. It's like, okay, you're grounded for 2 weeks.
Let me ask you guys one at a time. Kimmie,
go ahead.
Do you think these migrants are being brought in here for some sinister political type reason?
Of course it is.
I would say sinister, political, and non-political. Like, for example, those children in cages, where are they?
I don't know where they are. No one does.
Do you mean Obama's cages, or Trump's cages, or Biden's cages? Everyone's had cages. Cages. I mean, they weren't cages, but
one of the reasons why.
Let me give you the reality.
Hold on, Stanley.
They can be drug moves for the cartel, for all we know.
Hold on, Stanley. We're going to bring everyone up. I want to get everyone's opinion here, and I'll go to whoever is next. But one of the things I read today, preparing for the show, is that they closed down a shelter in Bedside, and I think the shelter had 300 men living there. And so now the men are
300
living in
men.
300 men. And so now the men are living like in the parks, in the community gardens. And I'm going to bring that article up. But at some point, if you release that many men into Bed-Stuy, those men are going to find, at the bottom, those men are going to find themselves in direct competition with the lower class men that are there. And there are many of them, Kimmie. You're familiar with Bed-Stuy, right?
That's the truth, John. That's
right?
the truth.
Right. And these men are probably a little bit more industrious than the lower class men in Bed-Stuy. They're going to win out.
They're also more built. Their body structure is totally different.
Yeah,
totally different. I go to Matamoros, Tamaulipas a lot, and because that's literally 5 minutes from where I'm at. And those men, they don't have the education or what have you that we have. But like I kept saying on CT's show, I want to know what the hell they're eating. Their body structure is totally different than ours, which to me, again, like I mentioned this several times, and I'll continue saying it till I'm dead. We're being poisoned.
Showed us what.
We're being. Let me finish.
Hold on. Go ahead. One, this John, hold on. One, I want you to combine. Hold on for a minute. One, I want you to combine your answer in. Do you think there's something to this whole great replacement thing?
I think there is. That's where I was going to head at. The people that I saw in Matamoros and the same people that I see in Brownsville that are catching, they're catching their NTAs and which are basically like court summonses and going up to your neck of the woods, New York, your neck of the woods, Stanley, Georgia, California, Washington, all over the place. The thing is they're not built the way that we are. And like I keep mentioning, we're being poisoned, number one, but number two, whenever they have nothing and we're pushing them to the point where they have nothing, like you said, they're being kicked out of the shelters in New York. They're going to come into direct competition with us and they win, period. The end. They win. We are no match. We think we are, but we are no match for
What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. Physically.
You'd have to see them. The way that I look and the way that the people on the chat in the chat or in the panel look versus the way that these people look. You can tell that these people are industrious from a young age. They've worked with their hands since 7, 8 years old, period.
Yeah, one ain't lying about that shit. Hey, one, let me interrupt you for a second. I was talking to an African lady this morning. And I asked her, I said, are there peanut allergies in Africa? She said, what? Peanut allergies? What the hell is that? She had no idea a concept of what a peanut allergy was.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have peanuts, probably.
No, they do.
They have peanuts.
They have peanuts.
Okay, my bad.
They just don't have the allergies. Right?
They don't have the allergies because they're not taking a certain thing that I'm not allowed to discuss because YouTube will use
what does this have to do with the great replacement theory again? Peanut allergies. Can you connect those dots?
I am. Please give me time, Stanley, without me putting you in the back. But there seems to be something is
better put me in the back.
Come on, Stanley. There seems to be something is one is saying that the American people, you hear about the celiac disease. You hear about the peanut allergy, things like that. There are large numbers of people coming here that don't have those problems.
Yeah.
Right? They're more or less healthier. Right? What they are. Right? If you're not allergic, hold on, Toy Man. If you're not allergic to something, there's commonly available nutrition. Right? Peanuts are generally healthy.
Yeah.
Provide a lot of protein.
Where they didn't survive. They might not have survived, though.
One group can eat peanuts and one group can't. Right? And one group is clearly healthier and sturdier than the other. And push come to shove, they can eat peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
As just in the extreme. Right. Where the other group, they're allergic to flour, celiac disease. The people that can't eat bread here in this country. Can't eat flour.
I think this is linked to vitamin D. That's my theory.
Whatever the case may be, but one, I think is on to something in that these people are tougher, sturdier, hardier people.
Because they're healthier.
They work with their hands.
They work with their hands. They're more rugged than we are.
They can actually eat food that they grow, where we don't even know what we're eating. We could be eating plastic for all we know. Yeah. Literally.
So go ahead, Juan.
No, zero. They can't bend. None of them can squat 500 pounds.
Well, I was going to go back to the. I was going to tie that in with.
Is that important? Is that important? Squatting 500 pounds, is that important?
It's important to me.
Well, wait, let's go back.
No, I'm just saying. We just crushed the Olympics. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think for baling hay, they're physically that's what they do. But I think that Americans, we tend to have sedentary jobs. But I still think that physically, we're pretty capable as a country. I was a brick and block layer. I mean, that's an extremely physical job. So I just don't do it anymore because
you guys need to come down to the Rio Grande Valley, and I'll take you to Matamoros so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know how to. There's no way that I can describe it. You have to see it literally up close and personal. You really do. And that ties into the anecdote that I was going into regarding the parole process that we help do. The Venezuelans that were coming over initially were people that were fresh out of prison, that were fresh out of the mental institutions that were over there. But all of a sudden, the people that were conservative in Venezuela, those that voted for Machado, and her team wanted to come over here. And in fact, there were two migrant caravans, one coming to the United States, one going to Argentina because Milei, their president, opened up the doors to accept them in. But all of a sudden, que casualidad, how coincidental, the moment the election came in and they didn't get the result that they wanted, but we wanted to back a certain regime, all of a sudden I got a letter from USCIS and the State Department, humanitarian parole is being suspended. There have been numerous reports of fraud. When I'm like, you mean the same fraud we've been complaining about for the past 2? Oh, I see the game. You don't want a certain group of people up here because you don't want them to convince other people on a certain side politically. I see the game exactly for what it is. A lot of people don't, because what they do is they hide behind the truth to make it the lie. It's okay. Well,
the game is about filling political districts up with illegal immigrants so they can have more voters.
Well, more left-leaning voters.
Hold on, Juan. Let me get Stanley up. I think he's going to be the only dissenter here.
Okay, John, can I explain to him when he's done, when he's finished, how it already impacts the voting? So just whenever he finishes.
I'll bring you up next.
I want you to Ryan. Let Ryan go first so he can talk me down from this rant I'm about to do about these swervy arguments and people struggling to connect dots. So Ryan, you're more patient.
All right.
So Ryan, what I want to ask you is, you're in construction, right, Ryan?
Yes.
And I'm in the real estate business as well. And I was having a conversation just this morning with my buddy Philippe about hiring construction workers. So he's in the dilemma of, should I hire Hispanics directly or should I hire a white-owned company? And I told him you should try to find the laborers that are here that know what they're doing and cut out that high-priced sales job from the companies that do windows, whatever, as an example. And so how does that affect you with the large number of immigrants here and you're in construction?
Certain trades are dominated by immigrants that, I'll say again, were once dominated by working blacks and whites. Okay, and they've got a lot of those jobs now. Not that matters, but my point is, for me, certain trades are dominated now. Masonry is now dominated at the journeyman / master level. However, when it comes to reading blueprints on a commercial building and understanding the architectural drawings and specifications, usually a non-immigrant runs that part of it, and then the immigrants do the trade, right? So they do the brick installation, but they don't read the drawings and know how to lay out the building, right? So concrete is also dominated. The whole union in DC now, the concrete union is pretty much 95% immigrant labor. But like electrical, plumbing, HVAC, you have to go to school. So a lot of the immigrants don't embark on that path. You have to get a license for those things. So, but the managerial jobs or construction management, et cetera, are typically still non-immigrant, whereas a lot of the trades are now immigrant. Landscaping, roofing is heavily immigrant also. So a lot of your just lower skilled labor jobs are immigrant. So it's specific to the commercial buildings, bridge work, things like that.
They might
That
be
make
low
sense?
skilled, but they're high in demand.
Well, yeah, when I say low skilled for construction, right? So not just like
I got
sweeping
you.
floors. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, it's definitely in demand, surely, because we're always building,
Let me
especially in
ask
the
you this
DC
question,
metro market.
right? Do you think
Yes.
it is hampered the white men in America that was in the blue collar trades that have to compete with the migrants? Well, not just necessarily migrants, but the immigrants from countries that have as Juan said, grew up working with their hands.
I think, listen, I've said that. Look, I learned to lay brick and block from our crew was probably 60% black, 40% white working class, and then black guys, and they're all gone from the laying of the bricks and the blocks, right? And this was a portal. I mean, I come from a white trash place, and a lot of the black dudes were from rough neighborhoods, and we did the labor. So all those people are now displaced, surely, by the immigrants. So they can't get higher wages when there's almost an unlimited supply of labor coming into the country. You know, so I'm a proponent of limiting all immigration unless we need those jobs or wages are stagnate in certain fields. Like wages have been stagnant since 1974 for working class people.
Do you
That's
think this is
reality.
Do you think this is by design?
I think the Republicans like the profitability of it because you can depress wages, and I think the Democrats like the votes. So, but I will say
Is that a yes or
recently,
no? Is that a yes or no though?
I don't. I think both parties. I don't think. Look, I don't believe in a corporate and what's Be Brave call it. I don't even know what he call it. I don't
No,
believe
that's
there's people pulling the strings. Like there's a group of people, a cabal, pulling the strings on this, right? But I think both parties have favored immigration when it benefits their party, right? Currently, the Democrats love immigration because it is they're it's a way for them to gain voters, etc. And um, I think that's what they're playing to right now. They want more immigrants. It helps
Well,
vote.
I think we should
hey,
kick out the
Tough man.
bad guys.
Tough man.
We got
I'm
to
gonna
kick
bring.
out the
Yeah,
bad
man.
guys and
Hey,
keep the
Tough
good
man.
ones.
Hey, Tough man. Let me get Stanley up. Now I'm
I want to.
gonna
Can I explain to him how it's impacting the vote right
Hey
now?
guys,
sure. Yeah,
I
go
Right
need
ahead.
to take
immediately.
a.
Stanley.
I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
All right, cool. We'll come back to you, Stanley, because I wanted to go to
John,
ZGZ, and then
Then I want to go
Okay.
next.
can I say something?
So right now,
you will. Tough
just
man, I'm
hold on,
coming to you
12. Let
next.
me finish what I'm saying.
Yeah, go
John,
ahead.
can I just explain it real quick? Here's the deal. Right now, we have a winner take all
Mm,
system, right?
mm,
And if you look at like the House of Representatives, et cetera, currently in these houses across the country, you and this affects the electoral college, right? California gets 42 people, 42, however many they get, representatives that go to Congress, right? So they count at the census heads. They count illegal and legal. So if I have 42 and my census says I got 30 million people, if I have 40 million people, I have 52 delegates, right? You get that much more power, right? So
52
currently,
electors, yeah.
Yeah, however many it is, Juan, I don't know the exact number, but the more people you have, legal or illegal, counted on the census, mean you get more weight in the presidential election. And we're currently counting illegal immigrants in California. So California gets a larger weight, a larger number of electoral votes towards the presidency. You follow? So
Yeah, I got
they're
you.
sending all. Yeah, so they're sending. So right now, it's impacting the federal election. It is impacting the federal election. Now, Florida and Texas offset that, but we're sending a lot of illegal immigrants to Illinois. They're going to get more weight in the electoral college, as will California and New York. So it's currently impacting. And local elections, you don't have to be legal to vote in like New York, I don't believe. I think you can be an illegal immigrant. You can just go vote. So
Also,
that's
Minnesota.
that's a
In
moral
Minnesota,
hazard.
you can be.
Hey,
Well,
ZZ.
That is a moral hazard.
Hey, ZZ.
Yeah, there you go.
100% correct, Ryan.
Hold on,
Yeah.
ZZ. Are you still here? Let me get ZZ up. I want to.
All right, thank you.
Fair
Thanks.
enough. Master Kim, I'm coming to you next in 12, man. Go ahead.
Hi, Master Kim.
Yeah.
Hey, hello, everyone.
Yeah. I think it's it seems to be by design. Also, we see what's happening in the UK, and to me, it's all related. There is a immigrant group that is displacing the native population, both by suppressing wages because of their they'll take less for the amount of work they'll do, which is happening in both Europe and the United States, all across the West, as well as politically. They are politically suppressing the native population. And it's like, okay, so why are they doing that?
Right.
And what I think of is the United Nations, or was it the WEF, the Agenda 21? Pretty much, to me, it seems like a way to, because Western populations are very individual, very, for the most part, secular, and there's more freedoms here. Whereas, like, you look at the Middle East, it's Sharia law governments, or you look at Africa, they pretty much have authoritarian governments. So those governments are easy to control. That populace is easy to you just replace the leader, and now you have total control over that country. But in the West,
hey, ZZ, let me ask you a question. Are you a black man, white man? Ooh, tell me a little bit about your background.
Yes, I'm mixed race, but I'm white. I'm white. If you see me in person, they're gonna. I mean, sometimes people think I'm something else, but for the most part, people think I'm white.
So how is this immigration legal? How has this affected you personally?
So I'm part Mexican. My mom is Mexican and black. I've seen my family. So there's a lot of interesting things. There's a lot of ways to answer this. I'll answer for as far as the job stuff, and then I'll answer it as far as like my family and kind of social politics I've been seeing. So I'll start with the job stuff. So I work I'm an electrical engineer. I work at big giant construction sites like data centers, high-tech factories, like where they're building microchips and silicone crystals, they're actually doing that in the United States. Battery manufacturing places. That's the kind of work I do. And let me tell you, I go to these job sites. I'm in North Carolina right now. I go to these job sites. I wanted to take in a hidden camera and just so I could show people. It's just Spanish. They're just screaming Spanish everywhere. It's pretty much Latino people everywhere. People don't really put that together. So I think a gentleman was talking about it's the low skilled labor. Well, there's a lot of high skilled labor. You don't have to have you don't have to go to school to be an electrician. You don't even have to have a license. Just someone in the company has to have a license. Same with HVAC, same with plumbing. So he was correct in the sense of like the managerial and the very high level positions are still, it's still kind of mixed, but mostly white. But as far as the people who are like doing electrical installations, everyone I work with is Latino.
And just how did you see that affect your life?
I mean, part of it was was wages. So I used to do solar before I do what I'm doing now. And the reason I was only getting paid $20 an hour to install solar on roofs all day and do electrical work and construction, like pretty much solar is like a pretty mildly skilled trade. There's a lot of things you have to know. I was getting paid $20 an hour because, and this was a Tesla job. So when I first got on solar, I worked for Tesla in San Diego. They paid me $20 an hour in San Diego. You know why? Because they have freaking people who will do it for less. They don't, and it doesn't matter. They don't have to speak English. They don't have to know what they're doing. You just tell them exactly what to do, and they do it. And if they break something or they do something wrong, it's cheaper to just go fix it afterwards. And they just accept that. Companies are just accepting that. And that's the economic stuff I'm seeing. As far as the social political stuff I'm seeing, so my family's Mexican. It went from, there's all these racist people, against Mexicans saying we're lazy and we're taking their jobs and all this stuff. Well, guess what? Now my friends and family are saying the same thing about the Central Americans and the Venezuelans. They literally say the same.
Racist.
Hey, what part
They
of the
say the
country
same
do you live?
thing.
Do you live in California?
No, I live in North Carolina, and I've lived all over the states, though. I'm originally from Colorado.
Okay, interesting.
So yeah, I've lived all over the place. New York, a lot of places. So in my family, so that's one interesting thing. It went from, they wouldn't say it that way. They wouldn't word it that way. They would just come to me and talk to me. Yeah, our aunt Sarah, how she was cleaning for that one guy, blah blah. Well, he replaced her with this freaking lazy Nicaraguan, and then she would be late to work every day, blah blah, and then he had to rehire her. Saying the same, pretty much the shit they used to complain about and call racist and was like all mad about. They are on the same shit now towards the Central Americans and Venezuelans, kind of specifically. They're kind of targeting. It seems like they talk about them a lot. El Salvadorians. And not only that, but they're starting to become a Chicano American. What am I trying to say? A Mexican American political movement where they hate white people. They align politically with Democrats and black people, but they also hate the Venezuelans and the Central Americans, and they're Catholic. So this is a new kind of a new political thing I'm seeing.
Hey, hold on, ZZZ. Kim has a question for you. Go ahead.
Not really a question, but more of a thought. So we're talking about the Great Replacement theory, and this influx or invasion of the newcomers. And I was just thinking, I don't know how much. I think someone said everyone's in favor of immigration, depending on which party it benefits. But I think that there is blown out the window ever since 2016, ICE, President Trump. I think that kind of like made people feel like more conservative, right-wing people are not for illegal immigration. So
they're not anymore.
So I see this influx as more of like a power grab. If we let them in, freely. We give them free housing, hotels, It's kind of like what's his name, Lyndon B. Johnson did to the black community. Right, yeah. We'll have them vote Democrat for the next 200 years.
Yeah. And that's what I'm noticing. It's not a big enough issue for them to care. So they're still Democrats. Like I'm sure you've seen this. I'm part black as well, so I have full black cousins. I'm sure you see this on the black side of things because I see it with my family. They're still Democrats, even though they complain about immigration. They see the problem. Same with my Mexican side of my family. They're sitting here they're taking our jobs and they're lazy and they're fucking all this stuff. But then they're still it's not a big enough issue to them. To them, what's more important is white man racist, Trump racist, get him out. That's the most important issue.
I think, for example, as a black woman, I would say it affected me personally because I went from living in a normal building in a middle income community to having like thousands of e-bikes outside of my building, a large number of African migrants that moved in, and it just changed the whole dynamic of things. Now, I will give credit where credit's due. They're very respectful. They were not noisy. They like whatever the culture of the building was, they respected that. And they melted in. And they get up every day and go to work. I can't deny that, but the dynamics should change. And I saw that in my living space. Whereas I think other people, maybe a white person who lives on the Upper West Side, might see them cleaning their building, but they're not moving in.
Yeah, they don't see them. they don't.
So I think the direct impacts are
Westchester.
different.
All right, go ahead, ZZZ. Then I'll bring up 12th man. I'm sure he has some interesting things to say about immigration, although he's all the way in Alaska.
And then we got to talk about the Marriott suing.
Go ahead, ZZZ.
I guess, yeah. I mean, to sum everything up, I guess my biggest, kind of where I'm at now with things is, so I used to be pretty liberal. Now it just doesn't seem. It seems like you're just crazy if you're liberal right now. If you're a progressive, you're just fucking insane to me. What I wish we could push is, as maybe the new right, is we're pro immigration, just legal immigration. That gets lost in a lot of these conversations because there's talks about racism and how these different cultures are and all, and so the conversations go into all these different ways. But at the end of the day, I think most people would agree, yeah, I'll let some people in. It just has to be done legally. We have to know where they're at. They have to pay taxes. We can't just let any crazy person in from God knows where, because we've seen the border crossing videos. It's Indian people, Africans, Muslim. We see all kinds of people who we don't know who they are. And I think most people would agree with that stance. And if we can, I feel like that's what the new right has to do, is kind of be a little bit more diplomatic and compromising, and just kind of show the crazy left that, hey, we're pragmatic. We just don't want literally just open borders, cutting dicks off of kids. We're just not that type of people. Like, you guys
They've been saying that for almost 10 years now.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get Stanley up here. Let's get
true.
12 man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Let's get 12 man up, and then we're going to open up the panel after Master Kim. Go ahead, 12 man.
Okay, thank you, John. Well, I think we should keep all the good, hardworking, tax-paying immigrants and just get rid of these foreign, like the ones we don't know who they are, and all these cartels, human trafficking and trafficking children and all that shit to these slave factories. That's got to stop.
Hey, 12 man, are there migrants and immigrants in Alaska?
Yeah, but they usually don't stay because it gets too cold for their asses. So.
They're the whites.
Hey, 12 man, why did you move to Alaska? Did you move to Alaska because of the blacks in Memphis? The crime?
No, we got a lot of good black people around here, John. I don't know
why
what
did you
talking about.
They have a lot of clips in Alaska.
So why did you move from Alaska? From Memphis to Alaska? It's like very.
I just like I like the trees and the wildlife and
that's great.
The adventure. I like the rushing rivers and the wild salmon and
child support,
the bears and the moon.
That wild salmon is good.
Sorry,
stipend.
It does sound very good. 12 man, Kimmie over here saying it sounds very good. Hey, 12 man. So your thoughts on immigration probably is somewhat muted, considering that the immigrants can't really stay there.
I think we need to keep all the good immigrants, whether they crossed here legally or not, and just get rid of the criminal. If we could get rid of the criminal element, John, it would fix everything.
What? I didn't hear you.
Right?
I said I was gonna do.
I think that's what President Trump is campaigning on now, where he wants to go back to deportation, starting first with the people who've accrued criminal records while here in the U.S., and then figure out his plan from there, and reinstate, remain in Mexico or stay in Mexico, whatever it was.
I love immigrants, Like I said, I don't care if they're really illegal or not, as long as they're working and contributing to the economy and paying their share of taxes, and who gives a fuck? But if they're a criminal, a fentanyl hauler, or any of these crack cocaine shit coming into our country and these cartels, we got to get rid of the cartels. Other than that, I love immigrants.
I think it matters if there's quid pro quo involved. Like, we let you in, you keep us in power. That's a problem.
I'm going to bring Stanley up, but I'm going to bring Master Kim up, and then I'll let Stanley. Someone is looking for a black on immigration, a block on immigration needed. Okay, I misread it as black. I said, well, Stanley's coming up. But Master Kim, let me hear, because Master Kim probably has interesting thoughts on business, immigration.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up, guys?
If he can be honest, he may be hiring some illegals.
Oh yeah. Hey, John, just when you get the chance, I text you a picture of our Chinese restaurant open up on Christmas. I'd like to or maybe talk about that later. But it is, and I just want to add this real quick and then talk about the immigration. It is a deal with the devil. We hate ourselves. We celebrate Christmas, and we feel like we're being almost like Lucifer being open on Christmas. And then on top of that, for our sins, we are 3 times as busy. So I text John a picture of our waiting in the lobby of all these customers upset, looking like little homos with their arms crossed, giving us mean looks because they're all waiting for their own, because we're just the influx in our area. We're in white suburbia area. All the restaurants are closed, and you got all these white ass. And I'm not being racist. I'm just trying to be funny. You got all these motherfuckers Karens just crossing their arms, mean mugging us, and we're just slammed, absolutely slammed. And we hate ourselves. And I hate to use, John, am I allowed to use a belligerent
you allowed to hear me.
I feel that we're a prostitute effing a John while our kids are in the next room hearing this. That's at least that's how I feel when we are open Christmas. Is because I got family and friends. We're all waiting at home to celebrate Christmas, and yet we're slaves. And why do we do it? Just like as Stanley said earlier, for the almighty dollar, because the cash flow to come in on one day alone is $7,000 of food, $7,000 of sales.
I told you, rain, sleet, hell, snow.
The actual busy Friday, Saturday might be 2,500, right? So maybe it's $10,000. It's probably closer to $10,000. And this is one of those days. Remember, I said we kind of lied to our employees and say that we're slower than last year, that type of shit. But yeah, we absolutely hate it. But it's one of the things that we do. We're just turn it. We're just numb to it. We just kind of. But we never get past the fact that this is unusual. We are wildly busy, and because Christianity is into East Asia for sure. It's Korea. Taiwan, Hong Kong, but there's still Buddhists as well. But in fact, a lot of non-Christians celebrate Christmas. It's an American thing. So I didn't mean to hijack and talk about that, but I sent the picture to John because I took pictures of how busy we are, so I could text my wife and kids that, hey, sorry, hopefully the rush will slow down, but it doesn't. And almost I look at them as a bunch of losers ordering Chinese food on Christmas. Like, don't they cook? I mean, because we're cooking a big ass American dinner at home, and I shouldn't besmirch our customers that are helping pay our bills, but I too am puzzled. Like, why are these mother effers ordering so much Chinese food on Christmas? It's stunning, and some people are doing it as a tradition with their family as well.
Master Kim, well, I can understand doing it with your family because it cuts down all the time on food preparation. You can just eat and enjoy your people. But I wanted to ask, and you don't have to give a direct answer, but I would assume that there are employees who get paid cash who depend on the business being open.
I always go to the American Legion on Thanksgiving, just so y'all know.
Hey, Mexican, do you hire a lot of illegal immigrants, Mexican?
You know what? So the Chinese are clicked up. So we're Korean, and Korea's right next to China, and they speak Mandarin. So we'll have our main chef clicked up with all the staff. So yeah, they're all paid in cash. They never ask for a penny more. On Christmas, we might give them like an extra A couple $100. But
Is that
yeah,
the
they're
restaurant?
very disciplined. Yeah, so that's just a waiting area, and of course you see those boxes there on the right. Those are fortune cookie boxes. That we just dish out fortune cookies like no one's
Does that
business.
include some General Tso's chicken?
Yep. So
'Cause I gotta have my
yep.
General Tso's
Yep, you're
chicken.
exactly. General Tso's chicken's the number 10, and it is just people are crazy about that, and that's why I wanted to get with Blacks Who Defy and see. I know he does the spices, but he needs to be aware that General Tso anything is just off the hook. I mean, these people.
I like the chow mein fun with a little curry.
Yes,
those peppers are the bomb until the next morning when you have to poop.
Yes.
Good to know. Good to know that.
And I really like egg foo young. That's good too.
Yeah. Chicken egg foo young rocks.
Yeah. So
I don't eat much of that food, to be honest with you. I eat at home.
Let me tell you a secret about egg foo young, right? Anytime you order egg foo young, it's going to be fresh, and it's very difficult to make. So that's now you might say, well, hey, isn't all the food fresh? Well, we're in the restaurant business, and so all
not in a Chinese buffet.
Correct.
That motherfucker making me hungry, John.
So any breaded chicken, any breaded dishes are pre-fried, and then we just fry them one last time before serving it. And they're made once a week. We do it in bulk because of the battering and deep frying, just almost like a fish fry, the same concept.
All right.
You can't cook a lot of fish
Master Kim, Master Kim, I'm coming over to your house for Thanksgiving.
Come on over.
All
right. Be prepared to leave the house smelling like fish head soup.
I love fish head soup. I actually had some before I came here.
So
how much monosodium glutamate's going into this?
Okay. Well, do you want to hear the truth about this, Ryan? If you call and say I want it to be gluten-free or no MSG, the cooks use they use in Mandarin. They'll cuss out the order, which we don't understand because we're Korean. But it's funny. We don't take it. So anything MSG or gluten-free, the order comes out just normal, just like everyone else. And so it's almost like it's a grift, to be honest with you. Not on our part, but when people say gluten-free and
just the MSG, a lot of it I see no MSG, and it's always because it supposedly gives you bad dreams or something. I don't know. I don't care. MSG's fine with me.
Allegedly.
Oh yeah. And I didn't but it's so funny that you guys mentioned Chinese food and Christmas, and it's the weirdest thing. It's an oxymoron where we want to be home with our families, but we just can't. We have to pimp ourselves out. And mind you, these people are tipping like crazy too.
Master Kim.
Yeah.
I have a menu suggestion because no takeout place does this, but the authentic Chinese restaurants have it. Pan-fried noodles.
Okay, so so when you say pan-fried noodles, almost like the wonton noodles, are you talking like the pad thai noodles, or like which? Anyway, text me a picture.
They're kind of like lo mein noodles,
okay,
but pan-fried.
And so
there's a million different noodles, Kimmie.
So it's like
there's a million different noodles.
Angel hair pasta noodle looking ones, the real skinny lo mein noodles.
That's the chow mein fun.
Yeah, that are sautéed in, I forgot what type of oil. I think it's sesame seed oil. But with all that being said,
speak to the Chinese people and get the pan-fried noodles on the menu.
Yeah. Hey, I almost beat up a customer because we have done a mistake. When people order lo mein noodles, they expect to see the skinny little noodles you see like at Panda Express. Our dipshit cooks use a fat lo mein noodles that Americans don't want. And I've tried to tell my brother and the cooks that you gotta quit doing this because they don't. At least the people near us expect the skinny, tasty little lo mein noodles. So I had a customer come in on Christmas, which I'll show you. Hopefully, I got another picture. Brings back a bag of food and wants a refund because maybe he was expecting the skinnier lo mein noodles. But he's being a Karen and being belligerent. He's a white guy. And when they come into a Chinese restaurant, they don't expect Chinese people or Asians to get raw. They just, because Asians are just kind of passive, right? This guy was being so loud and belligerent, and I took off my apron and glasses and watch, kind of like to show, like, I'm going to F you up right here, right now.
I'm going to knock you out.
And he freaked out. Because
the Koreans fight.
I would have did the same thing, Master Kim.
just because he was that I took the bag of food and shoved it in his chest, and he took this food, and there's like soy sauce dripping everywhere. It was actually a very menacing scene.
Yo, someone needs to write this in a sitcom.
Yeah, and a lot of it is not that he wasn't right or whatever, but we're so busy and he's acting a fool. And you saw these assholes in the lobby already looking all kind of, with their arms crossed. The last thing I need is a rebel rouser getting all these people extra angry. Oh, just to put it in perspective, these people are waiting an hour for their orders. So it isn't like they were 10 minutes. I mean,
that's not right.
Because when we have
he just didn't recognize good noodles when he had it, Master Kim.
So, men will order the deep fried dishes, and women always want to order a pad thai or like a stir fried thing. We have 4 woks. We can only cook so fast on a wok, So it's just we couldn't produce as much food. The food that they needed, we just couldn't produce because it just needs to be cooked fresh. And here's a funny thing. We've got a Kroger's directly across the street from our store. There's certain dishes that customers order that we just get pissed. Because although it's on our menu, there's a certain type of sirloin steak that we just either run out or we forget, and it's called a Hong Kong steak. And every time a customer orders that dish, we all get pissed because we never order that cut of meat and have it and all steaks are frozen, by the way. So I literally, with my apron on, run across the street to the Kroger's and buy that cut of meat, come back, we fry it or pan sear it and get it ready for the customer. It's actually comical to see us go over to the Kroger's across the street to buy ingredients. It's comical.
Yeah, probably some of these white people never had real ramen before, like made from those egg noodles, and then they fry them up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
like a real ramen.
I'm done talking, guys. Sorry about that.
No, you're Mexican. You know you always good, Mexican, whatever you want to come on, Mexican.
They never even had a real ramen.
A second ago, it sounded like someone was making a smoothie.
I know.
There was a Mexican. That was actually the owner of the restaurant. He's getting it ready to open up. You can see the guys working.
Oh, nice.
And you probably understand. You probably understand the hard work. Hey, Noah. Yeah. We're gonna get you on camera before it's over with, man.
Hey,
but Mexican.
John, you want to? May I mention one more thing because this
ties
into the Mexicans.
Hold on, Mexican. And before you do that, remind me to talk to you about nightclubs. And ownership and the things you talk about. Go ahead.
Nice. What one thing, and this is where Triple Z. I'm not going to say ZZZ. To the Asians get the Z's, the B's, and the V's all mixed up. So I'm going to say Triple Z. One thing that he probably didn't mention, but he'll probably agree with, the hospitality industry, specifically the kitchens, used to be dominated by very skilled, high-level Mexican staff and cook, and that's been harmed to a degree. So when COVID hit, all our Chinese cooks quit. So we would normally say, well, fuck you, motherfuckers. We're going to bring in a bunch of Mexicans that would do your job better. We couldn't find them during COVID. And it's a result of Trump's border closure that, keep in mind, the U.S. always had a tolerable level of trickle of illegal immigrants. That helped support our economy. But when Trump came into place, he locked it down. That hurt the additional Latino labor market, and some of these people are dependent on, and they were gone. So when COVID hit, we didn't have these dope-ass cooks that know the exact temperatures of everything, and we would show them how to work the wok one time. There's something different with these people. Their hand-eye coordination, they're very skilled.
Master Kim, I actually agree with you.
Hey, hold on, Tough Man. What did you think about Warren saying that they're built differently?
Well, yeah, I think so, but I will say that they're like, let's use Savage Red. I'm just using Savage Red just as an example. There's a valley of difference between a guy like Savage Red, who is let's say a working army ant, but yet he's high intellect too, and he can actually step into management and lead a crew. Maybe not necessarily at Ryan's level, because Ryan's a different class of human being anyways, but that's what doesn't exist with the Latinos that I see, is that they're not like the white guy that can use the brain or brawn quite easily. I think that there's a level of a ceiling that they hit, and that's it. And again, I'm not trying to be racist, just the ones I've seen.
John,
I
can
know.
I ask you a question, John?
Sure, go right ahead.
All right. So, I mean, we agree with. Do you agree that immigrants are good, right? I mean, we just want to get rid of the criminal element, really. I mean, other
Not
than
illegal
that,
ones.
I don't
Yeah,
think we
I,
well,
need any. I don't think we need any more. Not one more. I would shut it all down.
Yeah, John Galt's anti-immigrant, man.
Because
He's straight up. He's a
because the thing
nativist.
is and I'm going to do a stream on this. You know the
we
great
know you're
replacement theory.
Panamanian
Well,
electrician.
hold on. Yeah, well, fair enough. But the thing is, um, I think that ultimately the
It's a joke.
better suited people will take advantage of the system and create something that's unfair um, to their benefit. And I think that's what you see happening now is that at the corporate level, they're taking advantage of the H-1B visas to the detriment of white collar workers in America. And so
That's
I would
true.
just get rid of it all. I would just get rid of it all. And if we have a problem with developing talent in our country, we have too many unemployed men just with idle time. I would invest my resources in them instead of bringing in their replacement. There's going to be a
John,
lot
but
of
you know,
problems. There's
but
going to
these
be a
people
lot
are
of
John,
ready to
problems,
go.
but there's going to be a
Those
lot of
idle
problems.
people don't want to do anything.
Well, you got to shit. The reason why they don't want to is probably because we've incentivized
It's
them
all
John,
not
about
to do anything.
incentives.
Well, right, that's
Create
correct.
the
John, we got.
incentives.
But
Hold on, listen.
hold
Oh,
on. I'm telling
sorry.
you, down on the street, right? Like you got a bunch of idle men that are willing to do anything, and you got a bunch of men that's coming in that's gonna basically be their overlord. You'd be better served investing in your idle men than bringing in people that are gonna replace them. Because downstream from all that is gonna be trouble, violence. Kim, you here in New York? Look at the violence we see here. Did you see that man stabbed in New York, like viciously stabbed?
There was like
Like,
6 incidents in one day. But yeah,
I want to say something else. It's about incentives. I say this a lot. The immigrants come in, and if you take the dollar exchange rate to Venezuela, if he makes $20 an hour for 10 years, he can go back to Venezuela and buy 5 homes. Right?
right.
If you take an idle man coming out of high school, some kid, he's 18, and you say, hey, guess what? If you go work with concrete for 10 years, you'll be buying 5 houses. All of them will do it, right?
can
Like
you can you
the
guys hold on?
dollar
I'm
conversion rate
sorry.
is huge. Sorry,
Sorry, Ryan. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'll let you pick back up. Can you guys comment on the women you're seeing walking up and down the street on Franklin Ave?
I
It's
can't
not
see
that
him really.
impressive. Oh man, it's not that impressive if you ask me. Not that impressive, man. Not that impressive at all.
Yeah. Hey,
I can't.
John.
I
Wait,
can't see him.
Hey, John.
Ryan continue?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say that they're exploiting the dollar. The strength of the dollar in South America is tremendous. I had 2 guys working for me that were El Salvadorian. They said to me, "Oh, Mr. Ryan, you got to come down to us. I own several houses, and these are just working guys I'm paying, right? Working guys. The same guys living here I was paying could afford an apartment or a townhome. No, these were, if they did ceiling installation for me on a crew I had 20 years ago. But in there, where they would take that money back, and they were generally somewhat wealthy just by using a caulk gun and a slicker, right? So ultimately, if you told a high school kid, you'll be able to buy a couple of homes and
Don't
be
get all right with
wealthy
that.
here, right? They don't want to do it because they go get a job and they can barely afford an apartment in America,
Right. You can't even
right?
really retire from dedicating yourself to the workforce.
That's right. So part of it, one of the reasons the immigrants are so willing to work and willing to work extra hours, they'll take whatever, 15 an hour, 20 an hour to an immigrant. It's like 150 an hour if you convert it for the exchange rate and the buying power in South America, right? So
Ryan.
there's a
You know,
lot of
Ryan.
incentive. Yeah.
Ryan. I just got a call today And the guy says, "Hey man, can you text me because I can't speak English?" I said, "Cool, no problem. I'll text you." And so I told him, "Yo," he said, "It's me and my wife. We're both working, and we want to rent a room." The average American just is not going to do that, man. Him and his wife is just not going to rent a room, and the room is $425 a week. And he said, "No problem. Between two people, $425. That's what, $212 a piece. It's nothing.
Yeah.
In DC, that's
Yeah.
nothing. For
Nothing.
one person, that's a lot, but for two people, that's nothing. And you have people willing to live like this, and they don't have a problem doing it. They're both working. They're going to continue
I
to
think
work.
I think if we didn't let the immigrants in started in the 70s, I feel wages would have gone up, 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 and they would have kept up, right? Like they were back then. So
All
we've
right.
distorted
Let me
the
ask you this question.
economy with this.
Do you
Yeah.
do you think it's too late now to do anything?
I don't think it's too late. I think you have to wait for if you squeeze down the working wage, if you squeeze the number of people doing a job, wages will go up. So they got to limit immigration at the low end, right, for a long period of time. And in doing so, eventually there won't be enough floor sweepers and low skilled jobs, right? And eventually those wages will go up. We saw it during the pandemic. It exactly happened. There were not enough people doing low skilled jobs. Those wages went up substantially versus other wages, right? So you got to limit the number of workers. And by the way, flood the country with trial lawyers and doctors because they're making a lot. Flood the country with them. You'll see doctors' wages go from $500,000 a year down to 200 grand, right? So, any job. So the United States knows this. They're not stupid. But unfortunately, and we could have a policy that does just this, but these two parties don't get along for long enough for that to happen. Where they could say, hey, there's too many people coming in at the low end of the wage scale. We got to squeeze that down, right? Working class people are being hurt. We got to squeeze down the number. They don't say that because they don't care. They're too selfish. They don't care about getting reelected. You got the one side that's just everybody's a racist, and the other side is, hey, these corporations are making money. It sucks,
And in the
So
meanwhile, nothing's being done. All right.
yeah,
Let's go back to
they just
Mexican.
fight.
Yeah, what I wanted
Hey,
to
yo, yo,
communicate,
yo,
and
yo,
again,
hold on,
yep,
Mexican.
sorry.
Did you see those people with the mask on just walk past me? Two like women with masks on. Just
Hey, Jen's blown away
wait a
from
minute, they're lesbians or something because they're
I was
holding
just going to
hands.
ask you that. They usually are masks.
Yeah, they're lesbians or something. So they're holding
There's an
hands.
outbreak, John. I saw somebody in a car today with a mask on.
That's
Yeah,
so
man,
stupid.
bro. I got so many pictures. I got so many pictures that I can share with you guys. Like this mask shit is not going away in New York. It's not going away. What you say, Kim?
I don't think so. I know it's bad when they wear it on their chin, but at least they have it on. Anyway.
Yo, you see this shit walking down the street?
Oh, hey, John. Can I comment on great replacement theory?
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Who's
don't
that?
think that I don't think it's designed or intended, but I do think it's happening to a degree. Whereas the native population is, I don't know if they're being replaced, but they're being damaged because here's an example. Illegal immigration costs the country $200 billion a year. That's a published number, okay? If I just took and said, no more illegal immigrants, right? And took the 200 billion, I could give every young family free daycare, free childcare for a kid, because that's about $10,000 per family from 20 to 30 years old. I can give them free childcare so they could work, right? Because one of the main things people don't want to have kids is, guess what? It's a lot of money. They don't want to. It's a lot of money, right? You could give young families for each kid $10,000 if you do the
Brian,
math.
Brian, I have
No,
a
hold on to it, man. I want to
I
comment
just
on
have
this.
a suggestion.
Sweet auntie?
Hold on to it, man. I want to comment on this. There's someone, I think Ryan mentioned childcare. One of the things interesting here in New York City, is that Kim, I'm not sure you're familiar with this, but and you lived in like Crown Heights. You live in Crown Heights. I mean, it happens all over the city. They let these ghetto women take their children to daycare and go home and sleep. You've seen it, right?
I think I was that child, but my mom didn't go home to sleep. She went to nursing school.
Right.
But she'll drop me
I mean,
off at the
today,
daycare.
right? The majority of these people using their pre-care to daycare. They don't like the ones that get the early drop off, the late pick up. Those
Well, okay, so
don't work, right?
yeah, but you could create work requirement or something. Like you could do that.
Well, I mean, you could do a lot of things, but I'm saying at this point, like there's so many.
Are you
like,
sure they just sleeping, John? I mean, are they doing drugs in the meantime?
We actually had a curiosity about
doing that
selling. You know what?
It's hard for young people
actually
now. It
worked
really is.
in
It's
education,
hard.
and we had a curiosity about one parent who would drive the children to school, go back home, didn't work, but would come to the school drunk to pick up her children, and the children would tell us about all the different men they hear at night in the house.
Oh, that's not.
So who knows what she was doing?
Oh, and look, the reason I said this great replacement thing, I'm just saying that we are really supporting the immigration population, and the native population doesn't appear to be having children, and they say that's why we need immigrants. Well, if we paid for, and I'm not a liberal by any means, I'm not for free government anything, but I'm saying if they diverted the money and paid for childcare, guess what? You could have kids, you can afford kids. There'll be kids all over the place. Right?
Well, not only that,
so it's where do you want to put the money?
One of the things I was wondering about is if we just cut off the welfare, then there'll be plenty of Americans to pick the tomatoes and everything. We just, cut it off.
I don't know if that's a reality.
Board, you know what
that's
I mean?
not a reality. You can't do one
welfare.
without.
We're gonna pick our own potatoes.
You can't do one without the other, which is where I would.
South of the border, a lot of the women stay home. Like they're stay-at-home moms.
No, they don't. They do not. I know. I was married to a Mexican national. They do not. My ex-wife worked in they call them maquiladoras. They're factories.
They do work.
She worked from 7 in the morning until 7 o'clock at night. They worked. Basically, what's happened in the United States is happening down south as well. You just don't see it as much, which is where I was getting in. Maybe when you don't have the immigrant population, as John brought up, the amount of the wages will go up because they need more money to pay you. They need to offer you more money in order for you to take that job. And so if you have, for example, a Salvadoran that can buy 5 houses, well, maybe you could have one guy that could just make the money off of that one job, and the wife doesn't need to work at all, period.
Fair.
I'm going to see you guys. I tell you guys that I see what's happening on the renter side. Now, I'm a landlord. I see it every day. Here's a message that I received today, and I'm going to share it with you guys. And this is what I keep saying, like, yo, bro, like, if you're is Stanley here? Is Stanley up here?
Nah, Stanley's just making comments. He needs to get his liberal ass up here.
I want to get Stanley up here. Let me see if I can share a message with you guys. And this is what I received today.
I've been up here the whole time. I was waiting to be called.
Oh, he's hiding. He's hiding.
This
great conservative state.
Okay, Stanley, let me get Stanley up here. Stanley, because I do want to have a little bit of back and forth with you. And
well, I actually have been writing.
I don't know why they always choose Stanley.
Say what, Stanley?
I have actually been writing stuff, and then we can interact after the questions.
Yeah. So Stanley,
these things I wrote down might be a little time late. Let me read what I wrote, if you wouldn't mind. I actually wrote it down, so I'm not going to ramble.
Sure.
Number one, this is kind of a Master Kim like Christmas Chinese food thing. Now, again, this is going to be controversial, but learn to cook the food you like equals home ownership. If you
I
don't
like
like
this, Stanley.
MSG in your food, and I can honestly say that my son can make General Tso's chicken because I don't like it that much. An 18-year-old, because I got Watts, and now home stoves are not like restaurant quality. But the recipe my son uses is for home cooks, and it's not as good as a Chinese place.
Stanley,
However, I don't like. I like my son's version or the version I cook because I don't think you're unless it's a high end Chinese restaurant, like mom and pop's corner store Chinese restaurant. The food is not good.
Do you put
So
yours in the air fryer,
Hold on,
Stanley?
Toy Man. Hold
dude,
on, Toy
I
Man.
don't own an air fryer. I own a Why? Did you not? I don't literally. I
Stanley, I
didn't
put
own
him
a
backstage.
microwave. I didn't own a microwave till I was in my
Stanley, I put him
30s.
backstage. You're responding to, he's not here. So go ahead. I want
Well,
to hear
yeah,
your.
but I mean, that's my first point. I think,
Okay.
if you don't like if it's Christmas and you like Chinese food, but you hate the service or you hate the way it tastes, learn to do it at home. That's why we have homes.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
My second, MSG versus salt. Both are sodium. MSG is good. Use less
Okay.
salt. So that's a weird like home
All
cooking
right.
point that I've
All right.
learned. And when I was a kid, my parents used to use MSG accent, like the accent
Right. Yeah. I
that you
remember that.
buy in the grocery store is literally all MSG.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So, third point, business drives immigration has since Reagan's time and before. I think immigration became a problem because the 1%, and I mean the Chamber of Commerce types. If you'll remember,
Yeah,
the
I know what you're talking
chamber
about.
the Chamber of Commerce actually wanted illegal immigration because they could pay them lower wages. What we seem not to remember is the 1 to 10% business owner class. Now, this is my personal opinion, and it can be debated, but I think I can push back. The Chamber of Commerce created this problem, and now we want to pretend the Chamber of Commerce. I think it's a weird thing we don't remember. And then let's see, technocrats. That was my fourth point and last point. Technocrats will. Let's see. I want to talk about maybe it was a DG point, and maybe it's a racism point. The other thing white Americans don't understand, and you flashed up one of my comments. I think low expectations has become an across the board, especially in the white community, the 60% and the 13%. Um, I will agree that, we want to get scholarships because we're black and kind of smart. And whites, you know what? I'm white. I should be treated special. I think whites and blacks are actually the problem. And my larger point is American racism since 1787, and definitely 1789 when the Constitution, slavery, and Jefferson knew this was going to be a problem, and he didn't have enough courage to fight against it. The low expectations
Stanley's on to something.
let me finish. The low expectations in America are not an immigrant problem. That black people think there are black jobs, and the white people who say there are black jobs, white black relations are actually the root cause. Immigration is just icing on the cake. Britain is a great example. African Americans earn more income per year than white Britons do. And I don't like comparative culture, but I'm basically saying white people ruin Britain. And I will argue that white people are ruining America. So those are my 4 points. I'm sure there will be a question.
Yeah, that's interesting, Stanley. That's
What's the
very.
slavery? What does slavery have to do with America? White
Nothing
liberals,
I'm
on the
not
other
interested
hand,
Yeah, that's interesting, Stanley, that you would mention that white people ruined America. That's very interesting. And you say
in. Well,
that's
it was
based on
tore up
what?
from the floor up.
Actually, white women are part of the problem for
Won't
sure.
even
But
go there. White women weren't
white
represented
men
when
vote
they drafted
conservative.
the Constitution. It was white people. I'm not going to even be sexist one way or the other. White people ruined America. It was good for a while, and actually, it was good until 17. Let's just say post Civil War. America basically America ended slavery, but then we couldn't figure out how to do it. Jim Crow was kind of the solution. Um, America, it the racism implied in the Constitution, and Madison and others were clever not to say black or slave or anything like that. America's been tore up quite some time, and we haven't quite figured it out. And I'm looking at it from a socio-political, cultural standpoint. I don't care about the economics because slavery
Well, let me
was
ask
an
you this question,
economic
Stanley.
system
Stanley, let me ask you this
in
question,
America.
Stanley. How do you how do you think this immigration will affect your son? You know, 10 years out.
Well, let's go back to point number 4. Be smarter than everybody else. White, black, and different. Just be smart. Smart
Just be smart.
transcends race in 2024.
No, I agree. I agree. That's fair enough. Um,
And that's
you-
how we got into Georgia Tech. I never talk politics with my son. I never talk race issues except, we live in the South. But I have done a very conscious job not to sway him one way or
you
the
know,
other.
you know, you know, Stanley.
My
I was
only
talking.
demand was excellence.
Stanley. I was talking to someone the other day, and they work in the school system here in the States. And she was telling me how she basically is being forced to learn Spanish to keep her job.
Oh
I
wow.
forced my son to learn Spanish in high school
Well,
for 2 years, and he
that's
hated it.
fine.
Didn't take the third year. He
That's
made
fine.
A's, and he could probably know, he knows how to say hello in Spanish.
Right.
That's
He
fine.
just
But
needed to
you
be
but you but
exposed
you,
to another
but you
language.
think but you think about, like,
He wanted French.
If you grew up in Mexico, you don't have to learn
Right.
Well, yeah,
English.
they
You can
speak.
live your whole life in Mexico.
Okay,
Not have
no,
to
me
learn.
to
actually,
live
that's
in
not true.
She
Mexico.
wasn't
That's
That's
hired
the
as a
They do learn
bilingual
English.
employee.
that is
No,
the
yeah.
no,
They have
weakness
bilingual
of
schools in
doing these
Mexico,
sort of
and
no,
cultural
no.
comparisons.
Hold
I
on,
don't expect
hold on.
Mexico to teach
No, no,
English.
no. What I'm saying is,
Americans are smarter.
but if you listen to what Stanley said,
Mm-hmm.
he says, I don't expect Mexico to teach English. But the
Right.
Mexicans that come here expect us to teach
She's in
Spanish,
Spanish.
No, they
right?
don't.
There,
We
there
can
are
learn
no,
plenty
it's
French. My
actually the
son
inverse.
had an
there are
option.
plenty
He could
ESL
have not
courses.
taken
Yes.
Spanish. He could have taken German.
But if there's a child in school who's Spanish speaking, how are they going
They're
to
teaching
learn
ESL.
Well,
science in
if they're
English,
Spanish
math in
speaking in
English?
an American school, they should learn English. That's
They should
obvious.
learn English. Yes.
Hold on,
And they should
hold on,
learn
Stan.
it well.
That's not how it works.
Hold on, Stanley.
I
We have
don't
a
care how.
Lindy.
Well, I'm
Fair
going to
enough.
push back. I
Stanley,
live in a little town in Georgia.
Stanley, I want to
Maybe
come
up
back to
in New
you.
York City, it works different.
Oh yeah, very well could be. Stanley, I want to come back to you. We have a new talent. It doesn't come up very often. I'll come back to you right after Lindy Lou. Lindy Lou, what are your thoughts on immigration here?
Well, hi John, hi everyone.
What's
I
up?
hope
Hi,
I'm not,
Lindy.
I hope I'm not doing an echo. Am I echoing bad? I might
No,
have
but
to.
you're a little low though.
You're low.
Am I low? Hang on a minute. Hang on just a second. I'm on my phone, which I never use. So
Are you using AirPods?
no, I'm not using earpods. Should I?
No.
No, go ahead.
Makes it worse.
Is it an echo?
Just get rid of echo cancellation on your phone. It'll work.
Okay. Can you guys give me a second and let me see?
Yeah, take your time.
Okay. All right. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
While we're waiting for Lindy, I wanted to ask Master Kim, why did your Chinese employees leave during COVID?
You know, a lot of it is that we think that they had advanced warning, or because they're still communicating with the homeland, of what's going on. So they're aware of the COVID outbreak before it really kind of hit the news here. So I think that they were scared. They were legitimately scared for their health, and they just bailed on us. And it was it left us high and dry, because a lot of the recipes, they owned, it was their recipes, everything, and the sauces and stuff. It was caused us grief. So we ended up hiring a bunch of kind of scabs, or a bunch of cooks that had been at the TJ Fridays and all those restaurants, because they all closed, right? So we had plenty of cooks, but we wanted the Latino cooks, and we couldn't find them, because they're the ones that are just the second best to the Asians that we would, culturally pay everything. They're like right in step. Or if there were Haitian cooks, we just couldn't find any of them. Any of the Islander cooks, they weren't around. So yeah, that was it. And I keep on you, and I hate to shift gears real quick, but when it comes to Haitians or Ghanaians or Zambia, or just any of these people from Africa or whatnot, they're like the dark Patels. I mean, they're culturally, business, everything is the same. So when it comes to work ethics, they're almost identical to the Latinos, in my opinion. Plus, you get the bonus that they speak clear English.
You're not wrong.
Yep, we would have loved to hire them too, but they're not nowhere to be found.
Thank you, Master Kim. Chris Reed says Trump is making it a law that we all learn Spanish. I haven't heard that.
There was a bill that was proposed in Congress that would have called for a constitutional convention to require that there be an amendment to make English the mandatory or official language of the United States. Because in other countries, for example, in Mexico, Spanish is the official language. In China, Mandarin is the official language, even though you have, people that speak Cantonese and things like that.
Right.
And we're one of the few countries that don't have that. Even in England and the United Kingdom, English is the official language of England. But you don't have that here in the United States. And every time it's brought up, it's
Are you arguing
racist.
we should?
No, what I am saying is, where I was getting at real quick, Stanley, is that amendment or that bill failed by 2 votes. This was when I was, I think, 12 or 13, that legislation failed by 2 votes. Now,
what are your thoughts on it?
Let me finish. I'm sorry, buddy. I don't believe that you should, I don't think that you should learn English or any other language if you don't want to. However, there's a saying, what in Rome do as the Romans do. When I went to Mexico, for starters, I didn't go to the tourist traps. I actually went to Mexico. I wanted to hang out with the people there. So I knew that I had to speak Spanish in order to get along, in order to, enjoy what it is, their culture, to be Mexicano, right? Like to learn everything in its truest form from the Dia del Grito, which is their independence, all the way up till now. And also to talk to them about, the political thing that's going on, because let's be honest, the immigration thing is affecting both sides of the border. They actually lost a lot of intelligent people that could have been useful to their country during the 90s and early 2000s, but because they all came here. And I think it's the same thing that should be enforced in the United States. It's like a friend of mine that put their kid in school, and they got mad at me and said, "Hey, everything is in English." And the thing that I told them was "Bienvenidos a los Estados Unidos." Welcome to the U.S. Speak English. That's my thought on that. If not, it threatens our sovereignty, is what I believe could happen.
All right, Lindy Lou, are you ready?
Right.
Lindy Lou still here? Lindy Lou may have dropped off here. Let's get down to brass tacks a little bit. Everyone still here? Everyone can hear? Cool. Kim, I wanted to ask you, and I don't want to get into like the back and forth aspect of it. But I know you listen to the show HB in the morning, where you're responding to whatever happened with CT. And, I'm not on Discord, so I really didn't have a complaint. Shit, I ain't on there.
Right.
So from that standpoint, It's not a big deal, you know. I used to go on CT all the time. That's how you heard about CT, right? And I never, correct me if I'm wrong, you never heard me say anything negative about CT or anything like that, right?
No, you've always encouraged me to support.
Right, come on the show, right, thing like that.
Yeah.
So what do you think about so from that standpoint, the issue kind of lies with like whatever HB and Porsche may have thought about what CT may or may not have done, right?
Okay.
So what do you think about, based upon what you've heard and all of that, what do you think about just everything you heard?
Well, I think it's a lot of miscommunications. People are not speaking directly to each other. And I don't know. In fairness to CT, I don't think anyone has directly spoken to him to get his perspective or even his truth on the matter. So there's been a lot of fodder in between people and people in the comments. But yeah, it's hard for me to know what's real.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting, right? I thought that the best thing to do for like everyone, honestly, when I first started streaming, were like some of the smaller YouTubers to kind of team up with each other.
Yeah.
Because the algorithm clearly is against you.
Yes.
And so the best way you can do is to like team up with people and see if you can expand your algorithmic reach. And I think, from my short period on the internet, it seems that a lot of the people tend to take the approach of monetizing arguments and shit like that.
I think the problem, a lot of people who do social media as a business, work, career, whatever they want to term it as, I don't think they understand that the money comes later. You have to build community. You have to build a reputation. There's a lot that comes before money. But I do understand that some people depend on these super chats and cash apps and whatever to survive. I mean, we're not in that space, right? We can survive without a YouTube check, so to speak, or a cash app from a viewer. But I think that stuff comes later. Like when Steve Jobs created Apple, he didn't think about how much it's going to make. He thought about developing the best products.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's the unfortunate part of it is that, like, that's how I met all those people, Porsche, HB, by way of CT, and to see like the public following. It's almost like the 4x100 race. You know what I'm saying? And that, like, individually, they all have some skills and talents. Collectively, they will be greater than the individual parts.
Right.
We all would be. And I think that, that public fallout. And again, I'm not on Discord. I read something that Get Crack said that his moderation was taken away in CT's chats. I don't know if that's true or not. It's Discrack. That's Get Crack's word. And CT has the right to take anyone's moderation rights away for whatever reason. But, Get Crack did support CT's channel, and I don't know if he asked for the moderation or he asked to be taken off the moderation. I don't know, right? But, for someone that supports you that doesn't have to, you hate to see that kind of discord, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know you had very little to do with it, even though you somehow got pulled into this. And I just hate to see it in general. Like they said, fist strikes a mighty blow rather than poking someone with a finger.
Yeah, let's bring the people up on the chat and see what they have to say. Stanley, what did you think about that? Stanley may not be here. We take Stanley.
Put up DG's comment.
DG's comment. What is it? John? I believe it is a prank. I believe CT adores both Porsche and HB as we all do. It's very interesting. Like that was my first thought. I'm like, bro, this shit don't seem real. Like all that work that Portia does in the panel and shit and HB, but people fall out of it more trivial matters, so it can happen. But John, would you please invite CT and let us hear his man? Shit, ain't nobody blocked here. I don't block people, right? You want me to text him right now? You want me to call him? What do you want me to do? I'll call him, right? Like if you guys think we can mend the gap between those two, because again, I think Portia has very good talents. HB, I like HB on my show, but hell, I met HB on CT. Kim, you see you like HB's voice, right?
I do. He has a great radio
HB
voice.
Listening, look, you gotta
so
accolade
does Portia.
Here. So does Portia, yeah, indeed. Someone sent out a message to CT, get him come on the chat. I give him the floor. You know what I'm saying? He could express himself however he see fit. In a very annoying world class number one, I feel good. Okay, Norman Paul. Don't call anyone in this state. What state? I'm in New York. Well, what city are you talking about? John Galt. I would recommend conversing about this man in private with CT. I don't have any conflicts with anyone. Like, no one has it. See, I've never had anything negative said to me, right? Like, nothing. I just went over with Kimmie Cakes about just the general matter of it, like in an abstract matter. Again, like, you never heard me say, I don't have anything negative to say against CT.
No.
Shit, he let me come on the show. I've done many shows on this, not many, but I've done several shows on the channel. I've invited other people. I brought the guy who was running for mayor of Jackson, Mississippi there, right? I don't know if you remember that. I brought my guy Philippe on there. Shit. I don't have any problem with him.
But I just think
hold on. We got Chaotic Truth. We're going to put him up here, and we're going to put him in solo layout. Matter of fact, I'm going to put him next to me.
Just real quick.
Go ahead.
I just don't want anyone to assume
that probably wasn't Chaotic. That probably was somebody else fucking playing games up here.
All right. I don't want anyone to assume that CT was in control of the Discord or anything. What if he had someone else?
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't in Discord. So someone said that, like, yo, he don't control Discord. Shit. That wouldn't be surprising to me. You can't do but so much. You only do so much, so he may not have been on the Discord. So I don't have, I don't have a problem with someone taking someone off the Discord or leaving them up there. Like, it's their Discord.
We got to remember with social media, it could be so many people behind the scenes.
I'm going to let you figure this out on your own, John. Again, I'm not trying to figure anything out. Again, I don't have a problem with anyone. I don't think anyone has expressed a problem with me. I didn't have any financial dealings with anyone per se, well, not at all. And so, but, I'm disappointed to see it happen. That's what I'm saying.
Same.
I'm not taking sides. I'm saying, like,
Would you be willing to call CT in private?
Yeah, I call him shit. Man, I used to text him time. The only reason I don't text him as much is I'd be so busy doing my own show and then I'd be doing my own shit, you know what I mean? Like working and shit like that. John Galt, sure, that's actually okay, shit. Let me drop the link again. Shit, I don't have no problem with that. Let me put it back in the chat. John Galt, have fun. Oh man, I'm having fun, man. It's a very unstructured show today. We just hanging out.
I think Stanley's worried you're going to call right now. That's not the case.
I actually just realized I drank like a 6-pack already.
Oh my god!
And this ain't Miller Lite right here. This is fucking Kona. Fucking drinks are a little strong. Let me bring the people back up. Stanley, what did you think about it? Were you disappointed in the discourse? That's what
I have no. Oh, you mean with CT? You know what? I have no clue, and I'm not going to get into the middle of it. I tend to. Hold
on, Stan. We got a caller.
Hold on. About to give a compliment.
Yeah, I did. About to. Oh, the caller hung up. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Give your compliment, Stan. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Okay.
Stanley.
I like hanging out here because it's a little bit more cerebral. A little bit less fussy. But CT's show is different from your show, I don't know why there should be a conflict. And I will honestly stay out of it. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is a MAGA mess.
Like white rage. We just mind our business.
Let me see who else is up here. Let's see what they think. Ryan, what do you think? Like, I met you on CT's show. What do you think? Like, were you disappointed?
His show's fun.
Were you disappointed?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, they've been together for a long time. I could see CT feeling like him and HB are close, right? So, I don't know. It's kind of like when you have a business and then you have a person that like you trained in a sense leave and start his own business, right? So it's kind of like, man, what's going on here? So I can see feeling a little bit abandoned by that, right? So it's like some abandonment issue. But I think that I can get both perspectives, right? But I think HB, he still goes up on both shows, so I don't know. I don't know enough information. I enjoy both shows.
Yeah,
but this is Stanley's right. This is more of a cerebral themed show. This is like business, a little bit of politics, but it's mainly a business and technology. I mean, you're talking about your business, Master Kim's business. We talk about business more so. This is more of a themed show, and that show is more dramatic and it can be very funny. Even though yesterday it was just Sir and some other guys screaming at each other for a solid hour. It was a race war, but me and Stanley are just sitting there quiet.
It wasn't started by me.
No, Stanley, you and I were just kind of quiet. There was an hour of these two clowns.
But no, it actually kind of surprised me.
I'm like, why is it was Sir and this other guy just going at it, and I'm thinking, what is going on right? This is ridiculous.
He was making so many bad points. And maybe
he
on a ballpark, but he wasn't hitting home runs. He was watching home runs. He wasn't
screaming the whole time. I'm like, Sir, get your ears checked, man. You're screaming all that. He's a good guy, though.
I'm reading DG's comment. He said, John, I told HB and Portia this is nothing more than family feud. Nothing so serious. I hope that's the case.
Yeah.
Though I do believe
Hatfields and McCoys were technically family. So, it shouldn't get to that. But, no, I'll read the history.
You're right. I'm just laughing because you
you always laugh at me. But I'm just joking with you, Kimmie.
I know.
Let me bring up Master Kim.
To be honest, I honestly don't even understand why y'all aren't getting along.
Well, don't say y'all. Don't say y'all.
I mean both communities. There's overlap, but in all honesty, dude, I actually learned stuff on your channel. If I want to go and lob some grenades, I actually learned stuff on your show, John. In the middle of the night sometimes.
I appreciate this, and we learn things.
It's a theme. There's a theme here. It's a theme,
Master Kim, my man, Master Kim. You probably seen these type of things all the time. What's your thoughts?
Oh yeah, well, a couple things. For one, I made sure, and again, Stanley, this is just a joke. So, as a joke, I was going to say they need to bring in Ryan or some of these, not Imperious, but some high-level white guy to help mediate and help squash this deal. But hey, that's just a joke. Yeah, I think it's it's very it's very unfortunate, and you do understand. I mean, obviously, we all owe CT a bit of most certainly some gratitude because I would have never met you folks. But
most of us from CTs, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, CT.
I most certainly think that this can be resolved, but unfortunately, it's got to be resolved with effort because of the internet. Everyone's talking shit and helping inflame something, so this won't easily just be
left
alone. Yeah, and in privacy, absolutely. So it can be resolved, and it has to be done sooner than later. In my opinion, because all these other haters talking, just trying to stir shit up. But I love both shows. And just like Ryan had rightfully mentioned, and Stanley as well, I'm too old to be called a racist or being called out my name, and maybe I deserve it, by the way, right? But for example, with Stanley,
However,
with your show, it doesn't. Other than 10% race dialogue, it's really business and topics of the day. It doesn't get dragged into this big racial thing, and that's the lovely thing, because there's a lot of people like you, John. I think maybe you are race agnostic because you're a businessman and you're a realist, and I believe that you understand that there is one could argue a healthy teaspoon of racism that just exists anywhere. Asians upon Asians, Latinos against Latinos, blacks against blacks, and you don't get drowned in that fray because it doesn't pay your bills. And again, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, John, but just based on the way you interview people and talk stuff, you just don't get drowned into that stuff. What I love about your station is your station doesn't seem to attract the hoe tips, at least not for long, because you're not doing the topics that keep them coming back.
I do agree with you, Mr. Kim. There is it like I'm trying to figure out how best to say it, Mr. Kim. I ain't gonna say I put a lot of effort, but I did put some effort into how I wanted to set up this channel and the type of people that I wanted to attract. And by and large, I did want to have a channel where there were some solutions being offered to the problems that people may have in their daily lives. And we got Jenny from the block over here. What's up, Jenny? We got this big ass pit bull too, by the way. That's a big motherfucker. Hey, yo, Jenny, get the pit bull away from me. Don't make me pull out this.
John's like, give me a hook like that.
I don't know who the pit bulls. Pull this blade out of it. I'll pull around the pit bulls, man. Man. But yeah,
John,
go ahead.
May I ask Ryan a question, because I'm just very curious.
Hey, Jenny, hold on, mess.
Yes.
I ain't thinking about doing the show with you. I just, we I'm here in town. We gotta do it. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, Jenny and I, we're gonna be on the block for real.
From the block.
Me, Jenny, and Kimmie Cakes. Yeah. You have to come put your dog on the screen before you leave. Go ahead. Who did I just interrupt you?
So yeah, I was going to see if I could ask Ryan a question real quick. Ryan, and please forgive me, you may have said this on previous streams. Did you kind of grow up in a mixed area? Because it's obvious you've had exposure to a lot of the Black community probably when you're younger.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So just like Dr. Crack, Ryan, is it Savage Red? A lot
very much so. And in school, there was crossover, if you know what I mean.
So you've got a teaspoon. So despite you've got an MBA, you've got a big tablespoon of hood in you. So despite your living in same as get cracked. And
started like 15,
And same as myself. Yep. So what happens, and John, and not that I'm the ambassador to speak to all those that I mentioned, but what happens when white people or white adjacent people live in mixed communities, go to the hood, you become part of that culture to a degree. So although we kind of migrate to whatever lives we have, we still throw our hands up when we hear an old school Run DMC song or LO, just, because it's part of American pop culture. But if you've actually lived in those.
How about Daniel Boone? Did he throw hands up?
Oh, probably not.
How about settlers going west of the Alleghenies when Indians? No, this is such a horrible point.
Okay, so my point is, a lot of people that have an affinity.
Well, I said your point is a horrible point.
Okay, well, I wasn't
it's
trying to make
a historical.
All right, Stanley, we're gonna get the Lindy. We're gonna get the Lindy Lou though, Stanley. Because we haven't had a chance to get the Lindy Lou yet, and she's been patiently waiting. Yeah, she's back here. Let's add her to this.
And what is their culture? It's American culture.
All right, Shannon, don't make me put you backstage so we can get Lindy Lou's answer here. So, Lindy Lou, what's up? How you doing? I don't think you have you.
Stanley's in trouble.
Maybe Lindy Lou has been up here before. What's up, Stan?
I think
Lindy
so.
Lou. Yeah.
I've never been on your stream before. Can you guys hear me okay?
Loud and clear. Not loud and clear, but clear. How about that? Go ahead.
Is there an echo? Is there an echo?
It's a little echo, but the volume is probably lower than anything. If you could turn your YouTube down and just give us an idea, that should help out. But you can go ahead and talk now. The echo's not bothering me. What do you think?
No, we're good.
Okay. Well, first thing I wanted to say congratulations to, and I know I sent over a little bit of a super chat to Stanley and Juan on their son and daughter. You have to be proud papas, and just congratulations to both of you. I know that when I walked away and I left my daughter at college, that was the hardest thing I ever did. One of the hardest things I ever did. So yeah, have fun doing that. The other thing I wanted to talk about, since we're on the topic of what's going on with CT and what's going on with all of you guys, I'm just completely in shock. I've only been coming here to CT's channel the last few months, and John and HB and Portia, the three of you, you guys were you're such an intricate part of the program, and I understood you guys were starting your own program. I knew it was about trucking and whatever interest you all have, and I knew why you left, why you guys had to move out of to get your program up and running. It was going to take a lot of time, stuff like that. But that's probably why everybody came in and was saying to you, the three of you, gosh, where have you guys been? We missed you guys so much, stuff like that, because we noticed, because you guys were such a big part of CT's program. But maybe other people didn't realize you were starting your own programs. But I hope y'all get it worked out. I really, really do. I think I'm with Kimmie. I think it's kind of a misunderstanding. I know nothing about Discord. I don't know how this whole thing started, but I really hope y'all can work it out. I like all of you, and I think the older folks on the panel are kind of all in the same league. It's like, I'm not taking any side. I love y'all. So that's just kind of my thoughts about it.
Hey, Lindy Lou, what do you think about? Hey, Lindy Lou, let me ask you a question. What do you think about, like, say a combined John Galt, HBCT, Porsche Force? What do you think about that?
Well, I think it would be fine if you guys can find something y'all want to talk about, but I think his is more.
Well, let me interrupt you, Lindy. Let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you because I probably didn't answer the question properly. My thoughts. Sometimes I'll call HB 10, 11 o'clock at night. You remember that last night? I think we did that, right, Kimmie Cakes?
Right.
Yeah.
And so I probably have big ideas and things like that. Where I was thinking, like, and someone even mentioned it in the channel. What about like a 24-hour channel? You know, like the combined forces, we could all cover 24
I
hours
mean, that's
very
a
easily.
thought. I mean, that's a thought. Although I don't know. I mean, are you talking about combining forces? Let CT do his political thing. You guys do, like, I know that you're into business and finances,
CT
and
doesn't do
HB is
politics.
into, the trucking.
Yeah, CT's more political
Well,
than I am.
you know what I'm saying.
Like he's gonna
There's a
talk.
lot.
He's gonna talk more Trump than Kamala
He's
Harris
more
and I'll ever
political.
talk. Right?
Ugh.
Right? Would you?
Yeah,
You may not agree with him,
that's what I'm
Stanley.
trying to say. He kind of leans. Yeah, he leans more toward that atmosphere of political, racial, things on that order, where you guys are more, honed in on other stuff, So that's what I'm trying to say.
I
Being
can't talk like
political
that
wasn't the
because
right word.
I can't talk like that because I do business with everyone, right? Like there's only so far I can go,
Yes.
right? Well, you know what I mean? Like, but other people that have their freedom, there's an avenue for them that I can't go down, right? You understand what I'm saying, Mindy?
Yes, I do. I understand what you're saying.
And so I
Yes,
think,
I absolutely understand it.
from the standpoint of there's an overlapping audience, but there really isn't an overlapping content. Would you say that's fair?
Yes, it's true.
Yes.
And
Sorry.
so
Yes.
from that standpoint, I think it's more synergistic than strictly competitive. Would you say that's fair?
Yes. Yes, that's it. That's absolutely correct, John. And that's all. I took the whole thing to be that you guys wanted to talk about other things, like the trucking and the finances, and just be like that, and still be able to come on CT's show. When you can get on there, when you have the time to do that. Never thought of it. You just kind of like did your own. I just thought it was cool that, you know, um, HB, he's into the trucking, and a lot of people are unfamiliar with the trucking industry. I know I am. I mean, I know some about it, the financial aspects, all the stuff, the real estate and everything that you're into. No, I just thought that, you wanted to branch off, but was still able to come back to CT's, you know, platform.
Hmm.
Don, are you there?
John?
John?
I just want to say, I do think both can
I think he's trying to
coexist.
talk, but
One's earlier, one's earlier than the other, which I like the early show.
yes.
And also, there's
Right.
a theme. It's a
Right.
themed show. And uh,
Yes.
CT
Yes.
does like, political topics and usually the headlines. And then John does
Yes.
usually business headlines. We're talking about currency, bond yields. They're not covered that on the other show. They're different market segments, truly.
No.
But I think
You
what
know,
Yep.
John is saying, if we have a 24-hour stream cycle,
network.
there'll be segments of whatever content that people need.
If they were to have a media network, something like Shapiro does or something like that, you mean?
Oh.
I just don't know. Yeah, they could combine forces, I guess, but they're different. I wouldn't combine the shows. Just you got to have different shows because different themes. So
Right. Right.
just a thought.
And there can only be like one leader of each show. I
You
mean,
want to
if
get
they
on?
could try to combine them and have, everyone on there, that wouldn't work because CT wants to talk about his stuff, and John and HB
That's
want to
right.
talk about, all of their stuff. So yeah, I don't know if it would work. I don't think it would, to be honest.
Well,
There's just different themes.
what I do
Different
think
themes.
will work is that, like, what I've thought about is like as a 24-hour network. We have CT doing the politics. That's his
Right.
wheelhouse.
Right.
He does much, much better than I could ever do
Right.
because of the interest. I don't have the interest. And then
Right.
we have HB doing the trucking. Shit, I don't drive a truck. I can't tell you about how to pull a truck in and drop a load.
Me either. But
I
I'm here
can't.
for it in the mornings.
Right.
Nobody's gonna pay me to pick up a lot list because I ain't around the lot list, right? HB picking up the lot list, right?
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, so you got the overnight show with HB picking up the lot list. And someone said, "I like the trucking. I do." But hey, you gotta give me my propers on that because I thought that shit up. Give me my
You
proper.
did.
Like, I thought that, like, I am a businessman at the end of the day. Like, I got a beautiful mind. I've been trying to tell people a long time. But I did think that shit up. But this ain't my wheelhouse per se, streaming and all that kind of shit. And so, I'm not necessarily like vain and narcissistic about demanding my properties about who thought this up, whatever shit. As you can see on here, like
Right.
I ain't tripping about nobody sending a super chat or my cash app ain't even, who cash app up here right now? Let me see who the fuck cash. Can you see who's cash app? Up there? Portia's cash app. Y'all sent Portia a cash app, by the way. She's not here, but you guys sent her a cash app anyway. Through all the work she's done thus far. And if you know the situation she's going through, you guys would definitely send her cash app. We got somebody in the fucking chat talking shit.
I'm a cash app.
No, you saw my phone.
Oh, sorry. I got an echo. Hey, do I still have an echo? Because if I do, let me know. Someone, I think that's actually what's up? You really what?
I felt so bad. I felt really bad. I think it was Friday night or Friday evening or something like that. I felt bad for HB and Portia. Maybe it was Saturday, but it's hurtful, and I know HB is hurt, but females kind of like really get hurt. I think we take things a lot more personally. It's just how we are, especially we don't like people coming at us, or our perception of people coming at us. I know I don't, and so yeah, I felt bad.
Yeah, I don't know if you're watching the show, but that's one of the reasons why I wanted to take Portia down. I don't know if you remember the show. I was like, we need to take Portia down, not because of any disrespect toward her, but because I think a woman may get into her feelings more so than a man would, and maybe some things could be said where the bridge can never be mended. You understand what I'm saying, Lindy Lou, right? And so that was my reasoning for saying, let's go in and get Portia down. Let's go in and get Portia down, and so we can, make sure. I get it.
Well, John, you could hear it in her voice. The more she kept talking about it, I mean, I could hear it in her voice.
What's
and
up?
The way she was talking. So yeah, she was getting like more upset, which I don't blame her. I told her in the chat, I said she needs to just take a couple weeks off, maybe just kind of walk away from all of it for a little bit.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. I hated to see that Lindy Lou because it seemed like and I ain't siding one side or the other, but from Portia's standpoint, she seemed like she put a lot of effort into whatever she was doing, right? And I don't know what she did for CT. I haven't even asked her. I made the point when I started this channel. Matter of fact, let me read a few super chats because I don't want people to think I take them for granted for what they're saying. Chris Reed, my man, I really appreciate $4 super sticker. Lindy Lou, that's you, Lindy. One is Stanley. Congrats on your amazing kids, Lindy Lou. $2. Yeah, people are starting to come into Drink Lounge now. And Imperious, my man, I appreciate it. Now I want to hear feelings bullshit. Get the pity. I don't think anyone is expressing feelings here. I definitely ain't. I'm thinking I'm talking about.
John,
yeah, go ahead.
John, he's a fine one to talk. He gets up on here and he is worse than any female. Yeah. So he cannot say anything because he gets on here and he sounds like
he does.
Tackling pin with screaming and yelling. So he's probably worse than any female I've heard in years. It just blows my mind. The way he sounds, it's funny, but yeah, he doesn't have any room to talk about feelings and bullshit.
Yeah, no. Now, fair enough. Matter of fact, I may reach out to CT after this call. You got a USB-C? I may reach out to. I may reach out to CT after this call. Matter of fact, and then see what he thinks about that. Lindy Lou with a Imperious with a $2 super chat. He says, Lindy, get your mouth back on your husband.
Hi, Imperious.
Hey, John.
What's up, Master Kim? What's up?
One thing I think is also very important, and this is in no way to diminish the topic, but when HB was breaking it down, like almost like his Scarface moment, when he offers that chubby guy a job, it's hard to tell how much was sincere and how much was a bit because HB is so funny. So even as he's trying to put people on notice and break it down, I'm going to say 10% of it was a bit, 10%. Which was real, which was the bit, I'm not sure. And I hate to say it because it was such a serious issue, but even HB himself would admit that he was, kind of throwing a little bit of a bit out there, a little bit of humor as well, But yeah, your humor, HB's humor, Porsche, it's off the hook, and it's almost a certain level of dry humor because he does it in a somewhat serious voice. And then you'll hear something like, did HB just say what I think he said? So he sneaks in. He's a very clever, high intelligent guy, which means he's able to craft very slick humor too. So although it was a very serious moment and a podcast, he did mix in some humor, man, which is dope because that's his personality too. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I think that the 24-hour network, Master Kim, will really be a good thing. Again, like there's not a lot of overlap between the audiences, and we will have the overnight covered, the morning covered. I much prefer doing landlord stories, some snarky Airbnb landlord type stories, and then the interviews were like with you. We could things like that with you and Ken Watson and your guy. Matter of fact, Master Kim, can you tell us about the interview we're going to have with your friend that owns the bourbon company?
Yeah. So let me turn off my fan. I got my fans and so yeah. So I've got a very good college buddy of mine. His name is Jamie Guerrera, and he's Puerto Rican. So Juan will probably correct me on the proper pronunciation, but he's a Puerto Rican American out of Youngstown, Ohio. He owns a company called First Round Bourbon or First Round. I feel bad that I don't know the exact name. First Round Whiskey, and it's first with like the number one. He had licensed to make a bourbon that he called Boom Boom Bourbon. So he was licensed to use Boom Boom Mancini, who's obviously a national, a lightweight champion boxer and whatnot. So it was his test project. He was wildly successful. Then he started going around licensing other boxers, Buster Douglas, so on and so forth. But the one boxer in particular that I'm stunned that he was able to get the licensing rights was Jack Johnson. I think from the 1920s boxer, he got the granddaughter to give him licensing rights, and so he's created his own bourbon called Jack Johnson Bourbon, and it's stunning. It's got his picture and everything, and some of the proceeds go to the descendants of the family. The reason that I think that this is wild is because he's a straight up businessman. And who would ever thought of going to that family to do that? And he's wildly successful. I'd like to bring him on the show and pick his brain because he will tell about the starting pitfalls to break into the spirit industry. It has not been a smooth ride. It's taken tons of capital and everything. But I thought it would be great to bring him in and hear the story because I think at first he used, kind of like blenders or, people that make bourbons. So what people don't realize in the spirit industry, a lot of these vodka and bourbon companies will use third parties to blend their spirits and will either send them their proper labels and whatnot, and they've got to follow their chemistry ingredients to a T and are constantly sampling batches. But they're called toll blenders in some industries. And I think at first he used a toll blender, and then now I think he bottles it and makes it completely himself or whatnot. But with all that being said, he's my boy. He's always been very industrious. When I was in college, trying to show him some like 10-inch subwoofers in my car, he was looking at me like I'm retarded, that I should be buying an executive office chair and trying to he was just always more mature than everyone, even at college. And it was weird to see just a mature young guy when everyone else is worried about fruitless, goofy stuff. Yeah, so I will communicate with him tomorrow and see what he has open and get back with you, John. But I think he'd be a great guest to bring on board because he's in the middle of the mix. He's not at the at the end of the rainbow and just like driving a Lambo and flying jets. So this would be very interesting to hear of his success and challenges as we speak. But if you go to the website, First Round Whiskey, I think, out of Youngstown, Ohio, and he owns a cigar brand and cigar lounge, and he's into like all that type of stuff too. So let me restate, he's actually very successful in other industries as well. He also does. He's got fracking rigs up there in the Utica Shale. There is I think it's natural gas. He has a energy company called Samola Energy or Samone Energy or something like that. So yeah, he's big into the oil field or the natural gas fields up there. Maybe that's where a lot of his gunpowder or grow powder, meaning money, probably comes from, was doing natural gas plays up in the Utica Shale. But he came from a very humble Puerto Rican American background, very humble beginnings. So I mean, during college, I was a baller buying him Taco Bell during college years. It's stunning.
Hey, Master Kim, hold on for a second. I got my buddy Andrew. I think you met him the last time. The very bad time. I was no, you met him before this. But you met him. You may have seen him on stream when I had my little moment right out here on Franklin Avenue. I'll let you introduce yourself, Andrew, one more time. You can always never can introduce yourself too much. You just speaking. You won't be able to hear yourself, but you can introduce yourself.
What's up, Master Kim? How are you? It's Andrew. I own the electrical supply company here in New York. Just want to say what's up.
You were able to hear him, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Hey, Andrew. Yep, absolutely. You're the one that's the licensed MBE and just got that state on lockdown. And the humble you's asking for advice when it's the panel needs to be taking notes from you. I remember you very well.
Yeah. He said he remembers you very well. You, the MBE developer. He moved out to Jersey now, Master Kim, from New York City. I was thinking that, he may have questions for you and you may have some advice for him. Like, it was some advice you gave about renting cars a while back. I don't know if you remember that, Master Kim.
I think it was like trying to get funding, third-party funding from those two particular companies, one called Cap City Finance and one called Ascentium Capital. Did it have to do that?
You mentioned how you had to buy another car and you needed financing. It was hard to get financing for a fifth car for your daughter, your child.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That I went to a hood spot to buy my fifth car, but I was able to get a very good interest rate. It was a predatory store, but I wasn't part of that gig. It was called Drive Time. I had to get a fifth car in my name because I got 6 kids, and my credit union, no one else would give me another car because I had all these cars in my name, and banks do not like they don't like more than 2 cars, one person. So there was this place called Drive Time. I bought a Grand Cherokee from them, put like $1,000 down, but I got like 6% interest rate because what people don't understand, some of these hood dealerships are also legit dealerships too. That it isn't just subprime. So that's my story. But their credit underwriting was great because they didn't judge me. The lender that they used could care less that I had 4 of the cars in my name. And again, because my FICO score was high and I don't miss payments and all that type of stuff, But yeah. So I most certainly try to do things the right way, even insurance. And I've yet to talk to Blacks who defy about that. When you've got so many kids with car insurance, I try to do it the white guy way, but I can't, and I succumb to doing it the hood way. And what is the hood way? I'm using the term hood. I'm not trying to insult anyone. The hood way is you just keep the insurance in the parent's name, and you don't have your kids on the insurance, and you pray that nothing bad happens to the car.
Hey, my skin, they about to get this club opening up. Hey guys, it's been great. You guys join us like on an impromptu Sunday. If you want to shout out your business, whatever you want to shout out, you here on the panel while this guy is like getting set up for the bar to open up. We had Kimmie Case walking down the street, giving us a view of Brooklyn. You can't beat that.
The old streets of New York, huh, John?
Man, what's up, American man? You know,
how you doing, John?
Oh, man, one day at a time, man. One day at a time.
Hey, what's up, gentlemen? How's everyone doing, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen, let me be polite.
Hey,
beautiful day.
Hi, American man.
How you doing? Hey, hey, John. Let me give you a shout out. Listen, your channel's coming a long way.
Man, we working hard. American man, it was hard, man. Right.
And you know I've been rough on you, but
I prefer rough and smooth, American man. You know, I'm that kind of nigga. You know how it goes.
But Blacks is my man. Him and I talk a lot. You know what I'm saying? And you know he's been talking you up. He's been talking you guys up. And I've been watching, and if Black's assessment of what you got going on is a good one, and I trust his judgment, and so I've come around.
American man, now, bro, I ain't political. I'm about, what makes sense. I can't control the politics. You know what I'm saying? You can't either.
Yeah, I understand.
It's our day-to-day life, right?
That's it. I understand.
And we find synergies amongst us, and we all benefit, regardless of politics. That's really how I see it, American man. You understand?
No, right? I definitely understand. Yeah. But I have seen the work that you've put in, and I do want to give you your congratulations on that.
American man, can you see all this shit right here? This is the portable studio, American man. Right?
Yeah.
When I travel around, because I do whatever I do, I want to make sure, it's a quality type, production, regardless, right?
And always done soberly.
Well, that I can't guarantee you, right?
John does a good job. He does a good job.
Right.
All right. Hold on, guys.
What you got before we
close? Enough of this nut nugget. All right.
It's about to go north to Maine.
All right. No, I just wanted to say a couple things. It's a Sunday. I'll try to be a little bit more amicable.
Go ahead, sure. You got about 5 minutes. Right.
It's the Lord's Day. But, I just want to say first to Master Kim, sir, using fans is a very Asian thing to do instead of simply turning the AC on. Second of all, John.
Oh my God.
John, that wallpaper. You look like you're in a type of 1860s kind of hotel.
Well, it's like a speakeasy vibe.
Look at John.
Speakeasy vibe, right?
It's scary. It looks like little.
There's no dancing and no band.
Yeah, John, dance in the band.
Well, he let us in before opening hours. They're about
to
open up now. So
right. Yeah, we better open.
Don't say speakeasy then.
Look, they just moved the curtains back, right? So now it's opened up. You can see that, right? Let's see. My man Javi, he's working right there. You see him headed out the door, right? Going down into the basement.
Your camera's not switching, John.
Oh, there. Yeah, camera's not switching. So still looking at you.
2 cameras, right? We got 2 cameras going on here, bro. Like I got that upgraded StreamYard account where we got 2 cameras. See, look, I got my hand in front of one. Can you see my hand? You see that? You see that right there? This is the second camera. You see that?
We're moving on up to the east side.
Hey man, listen. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right for you. So this is the outside of drink lounge right here, right? That's the bar right there. It's Saquon. What's up, Saquon?
So what is this, like a
American man? What's he talking?
A hotel, John, or what is it?
That's a bar. Let me pull it up for you guys once again. For the people that are new, let's see. Drink lounge.
That was absolutely funny. The Jeffersons.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I thought John would get the reference more, but apparently he doesn't.
Man, bro, I just drink a 6-pack while I'm on the stream.
He got the reference. It just wasn't funny. It fell flat.
Maybe that too, Imperious. Maybe that too.
I mean, I'm hilarious, Stanley.
Man, here's where I am right now, drink
Oh, I
lounge.
got the reference. Did you hear me laugh?
Stanley, you don't laugh at anything.
Here's where I am right now.
Oh, don't be muffin. Don't be muffin like.
Uh-oh.
I'm focusing on Stanley's bar, John's bar. Hold on.
Look at Imperious. You're gonna love this. I didn't even know this, but look here, Imperious.
Oh, John, can I go there? Will they welcome
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
Or-
Oh, yeah.
Of
You
course.
come here, Imperious. Yeah, you
Everyone
come
goes
here.
there.
Hey, I've been showing the outside
I'm
all day
guessing they'll
long.
like your money better than you.
Yeah, that is correct.
That's all that
That
matters.
is correct,
John.
Imperious.
An asshole, but I
That
can
is-
pay for it. That's fine with me.
That is correct, Imperious. You know, money in New York, man. Money matters more than almost anything else. You know, that is true, Imperious. That is true. Hey, guys, any more questions before we get out of here? This guy, he wants to open up
I
his
just
bar.
wanted to say before I go here, you know, what you should do is you should let me be a mediator for an armistice between you two, between CT,
who?
between you guys, and CT, and you guys. You know, I'm a good negotiator, John.
Bro, you know, look,
They're not in conflict. They're
When
not.
I get off the call right here, I may call CT, man. Maybe I'm not, because I'm a little tipsy, but if I wasn't tipsy, I'd call him like when I get off this call with you guys and try to mend it myself.
John, I can't do my impression of you on his show unless you guys are okay. So,
hey, you know, yeah. You know what? What's interesting is I was on his show. The last time I was on his show, HB and Portia was streaming, or at least HB was on the, on my channel, on the channel streaming. And again, man, like, bro, like what I want to do, like, you can see when how I'm going about it in some ways, right? Like,
well, John, I see. My interest is getting you guys all together so Portia's happy and her and I can do a show together.
Dude, why is it your interest? Why do your interests matter? Do you hear yourself?
Sir, I'm a successful.
Do you think other people don't hear you?
Stanley,
Some people do.
Stanley.
When you said your interest or my interest was your direct quote, you lost me.
Well, that's you, Stanley. I think most people.
Well, no, I understand this crafty white lawyer shit.
Stanley, it's Sunday. You got to be nice, Stanley.
Oh, tell me I'm wrong. You were chastising me, but tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, Imperious.
Paul, but yes, you're wrong, Stanley. John, I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
All right, Imperious. You guys, hey, we got to start making use of this call-in number. You guys see the number.
I try to call that number and you keep hanging up on me.
Oh man, you know what it is. I'm using a burner. I'm using a burner.
I don't see the number. It's not in the banner.
Damn, let me make sure. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch up
literally not in the banner.
From my burner phone. Yeah, I thought I added to the YouTube banner, but I'm going to switch up from my burner to this YouTube to my regular phone, and that way it doesn't have service, only like Wi-Fi, so I'll be able to take. But wait a minute, this should be the. Yeah, if you're on YouTube right now, you'll see the phone number.
It's in the description.
Right,
it's in the description box of YouTube.
And it's always in the description. I did a YouTube stream about, I did it about chapters, right? And so for any of you YouTube streamers, you want to create long videos and you want to have chapters in there, take a look at the descriptions in any of my most recent videos. You'll figure out how to do chapters. If that doesn't help you, go to my stream. It'll explain it, down to the minutiae. Anyway, so
what do you?
What's up? No, go ahead, American man. What's up?
What are you doing in New York right now? Just sort of hanging out, or business, or what?
No, I get I had to come up here for a reason. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can't just dox myself out here online with you.
Oh, okay. Copy.
You know what I mean, man? I had to come up here and handle business.
Copy.
Man, did you drive your scooter up?
Man, it would have taken me 2 days to get up here on the scooter. Man.
Drive that scooter up.
Hey, man, listen. I caught the Megabus, bro. Megabus, $40.
How's Megabus? I haven't used Megabus in years, actually, since I moved to the Carolinas. Well, since before that.
It's better. It's, since COVID, man, it's kind of consolidated into like the big companies. Like smaller companies had it hard to go at it, like running these northeastern corridor routes.
Yeah. No more China bus, huh?
I mean, you can't put them out of business, but like both of us went out of business, or you got swallowed up by Greyhound.
What about the Peter Pan bus?
Oh, wait, both buses gone?
At least in the northeast corridor, bro, it's gone.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
What about the Peter Pan bus lines? The bus lines that would go from New York to Washington D.C. Are they still open?
Well, Peter Pan is owned by a major company, maybe Greyhound or whoever owns Megabus. It's like a UK company, so it may be owned by one. But look, I've been experimenting with the 24-hour because we do long streams here, 11 hours sometimes. So I've been experimenting with breaking them down and running them overnight for you guys that are insomniacs, as well as for the people that may be new to the stream and want to, having be their first exposure to the site, to the stream. So I'm going to be experimenting with that. I'm running overnight. So if you see them, it's not live, but it may be something that you haven't seen before. Primarily, I'm going to be focusing on the interviews that we do here, like Chicago Hustler Master, Ken Watson, interesting topics with Master Kim. He's told you about some of the other people that we have coming on. So I'll be streaming a lot of those overnight, kind of like reruns on TV for the newcomers and for the people that may have missed the early part of the stream where we get into the topic with the guest of the day. So anyway, if you have any comments or questions, you can always email me. If you want to talk to me directly, I'll make sure to send my number back to you. Anyway, this has been Live at Drink Lounge. We have my buddy Andrew right across from me. And we'll give everyone their last words here before this restaurant opens up. What's up? Last words, promotions, whatever you got for me. Who's up here? Who do we have up here? Let's go with Stanley. Stanley.
Had fun.
Stanley,
It was nice seeing y'all.
Hey, you know what? We're doing this live here. What do you think about more like live interviews, Stanley? What do you think? Think we should do more of this?
They should be longer.
Man, if we had the time,
through dinner service.
We could go back to the back before they start playing the music, but it's just too much of a production for me to put this thing all together every time. That's part of the reason why I bought this little bitty. You can't see this on someone that's you can't see it, but I bought the little
wallpaper is making me hungry. Are they serving?
Hey, he said he had some jerk pork in the back, so there you go.
I don't let me get off of those jokes. You want some jerk pork there, John?
I love jerk pork. All right, Stanley. Master Kim, what's up? Master Kim, what's going on?
Yeah. No, I think that these remote shows are awesome because you get to involve the people walking in around and go out to the street and stuff. I think it's exciting. A lot of people haven't stepped foot in Brooklyn or in New York.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
True.
And then getting cakes and everything. But yeah, thank you very much for bringing me up on the show today and hearing my little goofy story about the Christmas and the Chinese cooks and all that stuff. But we're all thrilled to be on it today. And I hate to say it, some of us Jones for your shows and stuff. And although we do listen to the restreams and stuff like that, it's most certainly excellent to hear the live broadcast and stuff like that. But thank you for all your hard work, John.
Hey, Master Kim, if I must say, if you allow me to say that, thank you very much for those tickets and everything. I really appreciate that, Master Kim.
Oh yeah, more to come.
Thank you very much, appreciate it, Master Kim. You guys, man, you don't know the resource that we have in Master Kim here. Like every day he comes on, and he may just drop one jewel in what he says, you can take it and run with it. And what I would suggest to you guys is really pay attention to some of the things he says. It may benefit you, in your daily life. Anyway, who's up next? Who do we have here? American Man, what's up?
Yeah, John. Listen, man. Like I said, we've come a long way, and I'm proud of what's the work that's been done, and I'm seeing all the interviews, and so just keep up the good work, man. Don't let minor things derail you. And I wouldn't put too much stock into all the stuff that was said the other day about the other side. Just keep doing your thing.
Yeah, I
let
think
it die out, man. Don't give it no.
As an older guy, American Man, I feel, I ain't too old, but I'm a little bit older than most of you guys. In some sense, it's almost like my duty to let them. You ever heard of like punch yourself out, punch drunk, some shit like that? You ever heard of that before?
Yeah.
Right? You let people punch themselves out, and then you come in and basically just mend the fences and things like that. And like basically the opportunities that lie ahead far outweigh any short-term drama. And for some people, it may require changing some things or compromising. But I think the bigger goal, if those guys who come together, would be greater than every individual benefit or whatever. Does that make sense, American Man?
Yeah, no, listen, I understand, man. I say honestly, just keep on doing your thing. Everyone's doing their thing. Listen, my whole ideal on this is everyone are adults, and adults can do what the hell they want. Anything outside of that, to me, is noise, and I don't operate on that type of nonsense. I'm an adult. I'm going to do what I want. You have a problem with that, you can go screw yourself, and the world is going to still turn. That's how I feel.
We're going to have to get a plumbing panel with you on, man. Like, a tradesman panel. You, Savage, Red, a couple other guys in the trades, and just talk about your journey. I deal with so many tradesmen. You saw one of my electricians in my house one day on one of my streams. So we should definitely do a stream like that.
Yeah, man. Let me know if you put the tradesman panel together. Let me know. If you don't see me or can't get in touch with me, if you get in touch with Blacks, he knows how to get in touch with me.
There we go. It's the way of the future. The trades is the way of the future, in my opinion. All right, American Man, my man. And let me get the Kimmie Cakes here. What's up, Kimmie Cakes? Normally walking back and forth. You ready to open this thing up, Kimmie Cakes? What's up? Let's get Kimmie Cakes out of here. Juan, what's up?
Thank you guys again for allowing me on. If I'm too loud, let me know. I just finally figured out how to adjust the mic volume on this StreamYard thing.
You're perfect, my man. You're perfect.
Oh, okay, perfect. So now I know exactly where to put the mic levels when I use headphones. Thank you again for having us up. Again, Stanley, if you're in the chat, congratulations on your son going to Georgia Tech. It's a heck of a feat. I know, again, my daughter going to Texas A&M next week is a heck of a feat, considering that I graduated from a lower tiered college or university in that regard. So I know that you're one proud dad, as I know I sure as heck am one proud dad. A shameless plug real quick. Don't forget you guys can follow me on Rumble at Juan Pacheco. I don't have that many videos since I have a day job. And since immigration is that's my wheelhouse, and also my boss does mortgage compliance law in that regards. Shameless plug for him as well. You can check him out at Lock Law US. So that's LOCKE law in that regards. And you'll find my boss, Nelson Locke, anywhere as well. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay blessed, everybody.
I don't mind a little selfless promotion here. That's kind of the point of the channel. What's up, Ryan? What's going on?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me up. I just want to say, I said before, I think there's space for both channels. I think the morning time slot, I know I start early and I've called in at 6 o'clock, in the morning. So I think that's great. And, there's space for both channels. There are different themes, like I said, different markets. It's like, Target and Walmart, believe it or not, they share a different space. So, I just wanted to say that I think that's a big deal. So you guys can exist and things will work out in the end. You guys will figure it out.
Hopefully we come up with some kind of cooperative partnership where everyone works out. That'll be the best bet.
It's all good.
We'll talk to all those guys. Thank you very much, Ryan. Hey, going forward, as I told you, we're going to be doing overnight videos. You can catch whatever you miss. The condensed version without the open panel at night, overnight. You can see that. All the good interviews, all the good commentary, the best. We're going to cherry pick the best commentary, put it on overnight. It'll show up at the live premiere, whatever. But take a look at those. Feel free to comment. Any suggestions or any comments, put them in the chat here or put them in the comment on the video or email. You want to reach out to me, you can email me. I'll send you the number. We can talk back and forth. I much prefer by phone. Drew, you got any words before we get out of here? Before this bar opens up. Official here. Nothing. What's your name of your company? You got one. What's your picture? These people are bashful. They don't know how to sell their company here, Master Kim. What's the name of your company, by the way? You want to mention the name of your company?
Manor Electric Supply.
Manor Electric Supply. Where you located? Out of where? Where?
2 Broad Street, Clifton, New Jersey.
Clifton, New Jersey. Manor Electric, Clifton, New Jersey. There you go. Manor, Manor. All right. Thank you guys for joining. This is Drew right there. This is John Galt. Thank you for joining.